I mean, in the middle of a match, to talk to the coach, you could see very clearly how he was under some stress, under some pressure coming into map 3.
You say it's playoffs. The thing is, it's not only cool, you're in the playoffs, you're in the top 6, you're in the arena. You know, that's where I want to play. If I'm a player, I want to be in front of those thousands of screaming fans. And to get in off of, you know, a best of 1 and a best of 3 victory in this kind of format, that's fantastic. Going into this matchup, though, I think it's something that, you know, you're really going to need the pistol round for G2. I think their CT side is reliant on getting that AWP online on Kenny as quickly as humanly possible, because their CT side seems a little bit disjointed when I watch it.
That's something to consider for sure.
I think that what will make Fnatic CT side on Cobble so strong is their B-long control, because they are throwing a pretty early smoke, which like blocks off half of B-long. So I mean, from playing against Fnatic, we played Cobble at, I think it was the ECS finals.
Okay.
And we had like literally no map control towards B. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're still going to run that strat where they really use that early smoke and block off the whole B-long control from G2 here. Because it feels like G2 would be the team who would send out like Apex or Shoxy B-long right behind the smoke, trying to get a pick.
Sure.
But they will completely deny that with that smoke.
So this is a CT smoke?
Yes. When they're on the CT side, they're basically smoking off, you know, the box
the
in
very
B-long.
deep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not the very deep. It's like basically half of B-long. It's a weird smoke which I didn't really see before I actually played them.
But it enables them to basically have more control than just broken and steps.
Exactly.
Understood. Wow, okay. Well, we get to see the fist bumps are going in. You know what that means. It is time for them to delve once again into the realms of Counter-Strike. One final map then, Cobblestone. This is a spot in the Spodek on the line. G2, they're bossing group stages, but now it's down to just one map. Fnatic are trying to replicate the success on Mirage. Your casters are ready. Let's jump in.
We are ready. Alex returned from jail. Thank you, Gaben, for bailing me out. Back with Henry G, and we get to see who's going to the Spodek.
We will indeed. It's the third and final map. Fnatic on the CT side, G2 starting as those pesky terrorists. 3 sets of armor, MBK with the Deagle once again. He didn't get too much done with it yesterday. We'll see if he can provide some form today. Smoke for Apex. Well, Molotov looks like an A-side approach. All 5 players on this side of the map. They'll smoke the connector. Maybe Molotov towards long at this point. We'll see what happens. Good shot. Flush up. Down to 10. Has to fall back here. The Glock not known for its one-tap potential, especially at that sort of range. As Crims waits towards middle. What a fantastic shot that is. Takes MBK down with 1 bullet. That's all that's required. And he'll get 1 in the face as well, down to 17.
Waiting to see if he can get a headshot angle from back of the site. We've realized now and been spoiled otherwise that he has not. Body and Kenny instead getting the kills as they charge toward the objective. In this case, the A position with Bomb. So it rotates back over, so too does Golden. Smoke's down, but they're still timid and tense about going in. In fact, they're going to swap the pistols over. Lecro's going to take with armor the CZ-75. Perhaps more suited to it, as Kenny's already found Golden. Kenny with a great start, 3 kills so far in the pistol round. Good approach from Lecro to get 1 kill, but Kenny closes out with his 4th.
He does.
That's all your big fingers and not your thumb.
And it will be 4 kills for Kenny. Not too bad at all. Gets the CZ and the armor as well going to the next round. Might as well keep that. Doesn't really need to buy anything else. He'll be going toe-to-toe with that same sort of weaponry. 3 nades for Fnatic. Will they be expecting a B-rush? Time will tell. They will be fully force buying into round number 2 here, but a good start for the G2 side. Kenny does get a rifle just to know. Doesn't stick on the CZ. It's going to be 2 AKs, 1 Galil, a MAC-10 and a UMP up against the force buy of Fnatic. And the poor nade from Lecro does actually backfire. Hits him for 1 himself. Not too bad. Looks like a B-sided attack here. MBK working towards the drop-down area. Nade goes in to damage any close-range CTs. Golden, definitely one of those. It's a 41 that. Flashes in. This could be the commitment from G2 going into those MAC-10s first. Drop-down control coming through as well. CZ and JW got 1 more bullet left in the magazine. He'll have to fall back. Golden probably gets this kill. As you can see, he does. But now they've taken a lot of damage and they've got T's coming in all around them.
Out behind the statue with pistols that don't land. Flush at least gets 1 kill, but the bomb gets planted, and that'll pretty much secure the round. Flush is even going to fall off of it with the armor and CZ. Go. Back to Rapunzel.
With the CZ. Not the most exciting save, but he's still got the armor.
Actually, I think he's not even going to go there. I lied. He'll probably go to the halls and look for an exit kill.
Yeah, Pretty standard stuff. They get a couple of kills here, but it means a full eco going into the next round. No second round victory here for the Fnatic squad. Pretty simple procedure for G2. Straight towards B, 2 players towards drop down, nades at the start, drop the flashbangs, the smokes go in, let the SMGs do the damage, then the rifles finish things off. Apex with 2, Kenny S with 1, same story for Body, and just Flusher surviving right now. As we'll get into the next round, we'll see what's available to them. Fnatic will have to take pretty much full EK, like we said. Flusher with 1 pistol, that's going to be the armor save for him. And no nades purchased, no armor whatsoever. And for now, they could go for a stack towards middle, potentially. We'll see whether that's an option for them. Round number 3 should be finding MBK some interesting kills here. He's got the dualies to work with. That's it. Didn't bring a rifle or an SMG. He is probably the cheesiest player in CSGO right now with his Krieg antics, the Orc, the dualies, and JW with a Zeus now as they stack towards drop down. A chance, I guess, with the little stack here. The Zeus normally quite prevalent on a map like Cobblestone. Holding up in a very slow default for now. Golden does hit 1 drop down. One allowed to get the CZ kill. It actually connects, does 99 damage to Shocks. We've seen that a couple of times so far. And not going to find them the kill, unfortunately, there. JW with another Zeus. That's so nuts. I didn't even realize it could do less than 100. I thought once it connects, that was it, but it's been proven wrong a couple of times.
Twice that we've seen it in pro matches. I didn't realize the fall off was so considerable. But it does actually make up for the difference because not getting the kill on it. Shocks has the MAC-10. He can still run and gun and potentially do further damage for G2 to pick up the round. Bomb gets planted, safe hot spot. And Shocks, there you go. With the 1 HP, gets a second kill. To take him out finally. Not like it was hard on a CZ.
HP after me, Shoxy. Ask Golden, he's the one with the Zeus that connected. 1 HP. That is quite funny.
He says LOL.
Yeah.
What can you do?
It's weird. I feel like if it does connect, it should just be a guaranteed shot, but either way. Not meant to be. Flash up. 10 probably gets this kill. Making things expensive for G2 at least, but the 3-0 will come in.
So G2 finally winning a pistol round. It comes on map 3, perhaps enough to give them what they need to close out the series. Again, a chance to go to the arena on the line. Probably one of the most incredible arenas that we go to each and every year. We're fortunate to be here each and every year.
Yes, a lot of legacy within the building. Counter-Strike has grown and developed, as IEM does as well. From 1.6 as one of the most prestigious tournaments hosted every year, and even more so in CSGO now, especially with the Intel Grand Slam thrown into the mix as well. $1 million up for grabs. SK currently with 2 titles. G2 have 1 as well. No one seems to be guaranteed that lock-in for $1 million yet. But it's going to be quite exciting when someone gets to 3, right? That's when you can deny the $1 million, get 100K for winning a final against a team that has 3 wins.
100K additionally to the
to the prize pool.
Exactly. Yeah, and SK is the closest so far with 2, I believe.
Yes.
So we'll see if they can add to that. Their form has been questionable since.
And just to note, that's a clean $1 million. That's not like $1 million split, like a prize pool. That's $1 million straight to the team that gets the first 4.
Yeah, it's still split between the players, but yeah, you're exactly right. It's not $1,500,000 to the winner. You know, $250,000 to this, $15,000 to me just for showing up, and then Paula getting $2,000 of whatever days he works. Crims sits in the corner. They jump through, check it, spot him. He's going to have to rely on Flusher to be his aid in this situation, and so far he's distracted, but Crims will make do, or will he? Good jump from Apex, manages to hit the shot.
Well, you'd think now they'll know the A side is open, but a fast rotation for Lekra allows him to get tucked in on the A side here. Shotgun for Golden. That's not ideal.
Certainly not. Yeah, not if they're going to rotate.
Now JW will sit alone in the B side with the AWP. 30 seconds remain. What's the play here? Bomb still resides towards the bottom and middle.
Shot JW. Apex is going quietly, so even though Lekro may have slipped over early, they're still going to consider it. Good shot on the M4. Takes the head off of Apex. Good awareness. It looked like he was going to get caught out as he jumped to check the ramp. BK makes up for it. He knows Lekro's there. Not only that, he knows Lekro's falling off of the wall. Don't deplete all of your ammo, NBK, surely. But he does get the shot. Unfortunately, time is gone. Nothing can be done with the round, and he'll stay alive at least to keep the AK, which is good because he would have lost all the money.
Money's still very tight for Fnatic. Sure, they win the round, but Only one player surviving means the SMGs will come out. The FAMAS for Lekro, a shotgun again for Golden. MBK might not have won the round, but he certainly has made things expensive. They're not going to force into it. That's got to be one of the first times I've ever said that about G2. If ever there was a time to force, this would be it. You've got like 2k residual cash. You've already spent that. I'd say get the AKs out. You know they're going to have almost nothing here. A weird conservative approach from G2. This is uncharacteristic and one I don't actually agree with. I'll lose the first player. They'll be rushing around the Mac 10s. They probably won't even find any kills here and allow Fnatic to stabilize. This is a bizarre call from them. And now they've got like 4k per player, sure, but they could have had that in the previous round, had AKs and actually had a fighting chance. They open the window of opportunity there for Fnatic at least, 3-2. Third and final map here. Winners go to the playoffs. Remember, Astralis already there after taking down SK Gaming. 2-0, controversial finish at the very end. Quite an exciting series, probably the best I've casted in terms of like the excitement levels in the last year or so. It was absolutely unbelievable. Creed out for MBK once again. FAMAS for Lekro.
Watch and learn how the forced weapons, Kenny S on a pistol, will try to attack Fnatic's full buy, and I say full. You got a UMP and a FAMAS in there, but flashes and Molotovs to the hay bales, smoke immediately to the close arch. That'll allow them to fall back. So far, we've not seen the smoke that Adam Friberg talked about. Tag down to 73, but that's inconsequential as he gets away. Additional smoke deployed will thwart any chance for G2 to get closer. They'll still get there slowly, but they can't exactly capitalize on flusha running back. Systematic at this point, though. 50 seconds, all by default, and they'll start to head over toward the B site. Still with two smokes, excuse me, to work with.
This is just Kenny S alone with the pistol, holding up by the A site. His teammate's ready to go in. He'll be towards B. He'll be taken down, but MBK quickly responds. Flash to go in. This is the last commitment. 20 seconds on the clock. Lekro needs to find at least one here. He might go even better than that. Can't find the double spray down. MBK certainly can. 3-on-2, and the Creed doing tremendous amount of work here. Gunning them down as they rotate in. Flasher left in a 2 versus 1. Shoxy and Body will be able to get the plant in. Flasher got his work cut out for him now. The smoke could actually benefit him, believe it or not, considering he can get close to the bomb site without Shoxy being able to detect it. A slight gap there as well to work with. He could push this smoke. Time will tell. He has got the flashbang and the fuse kit, but still no real intel as to where the T's are positioned. It's that one. Actually might get both. Not meant to be, though. And that will be Fnatic. Not so much on the reset there. They were up against the Pistols before, managed to keep all 5 players alive. But 4-2 for G2. Last buy for Fnatic now. Flasher definitely with a fighting chance there, but here's the Creed going to town. Good play, I have to say, and then he zooms in on the connected one, gets a third.
Zooms in. You gotta love that on a rifle, but now it's 4 for G2. Fnatic try their utmost to level this up before they lose weapons. FAMAS again for Lekro, but the rest onto the M4s. 1 kit only. It's in the hands of Crims. They've elected to go for smokes on everybody else. They want to try and slow them down, and that's not surprising considering it is Cobblestone. Flusha will fall off at long once more, but not before deploying his smoke. He's well, ooh, that could be all right. Didn't quite go far enough. Damage to 2, but only 8 HP. This is interesting as well because they've not attacked immediately after putting the Molotovs down, so Flusha thinks he could slip back into what they thought would be cleared. He gets caught out just before it was gone. Crims to watch sneak up, and Shox is in behind him with the CZ. You were saying it, the Pistol's going to get a free upgrade having gotten up mid. No one even watching the mid ramp.
Yeah, they're saving now. That was beautiful from Shoxy. How he gets behind enemy lines like that, I have no idea. Gets up towards middle. There's so much distraction towards long A. Beautiful round by G2, and I know they have to save at this point. They have to keep these 3 rifles up. No chance they can win the round. Let's just try and tuck ourselves in. Golden sends one of his teammates, boosts him up. Forget about me, leave him behind. Save yourself. I'll hold and drop down and try and fend them off. Keep the wolf from the door. So Apex knows it's likely they saved in this particular area. It's clear for now, so it's B Hall's where they reside. Fnatic will have fully invested into this round. Got $50 actually for every single player on the squad. They're going to get $1,900 next round. So $1,950 for those playing along the way. W might get a bit more now. Gets $300 for that M4 kill, and they are going to save the 3 weapons by the looks of things. G2 won't be hunting them at all. And that's actually kind of beneficial, because this is going to force them to actually buy into this round. They'll just think, well, we've got 3 rifles here, might as well go for it. It'll be a weak buy. They can drop like UMPs and pretty much have utility with the dropped weaponry. You can see there, Lecro drops a UMP for his teammate, JW drops one for Crims, so they can actually buy utility, but it means everyone's fully invested with FAMAS, 2 UMPs, 2 kits, and a couple of M4s at the end. Need to win this round or it's going to be very difficult to recover now.
Crims to connector with Flusha out of toward long. You're right, it will be difficult. City side seems to struggle on this map quite frequently among the top teams. Large rotation of Flusha's tagged as he gets caught out against the wall. 41 HP. At B, pretty straightforward. Golden's watching the drop room. 2 inside of the site. Not anyone really pressuring B long. We haven't seen a lot of pressure at B long, to be fair. Not as much as we normally see. Top deployed, flash as well. Quick smoke off to the left to contain Golden at the E box, and that should give drop room to G2. It'll be Shocks to head down first. Didn't quite get the pallet right, so a thunderous noise as he lands. Hold from JW, patience as Shocks tries to sneak through the smokes and surprise them by getting position they wouldn't have expected. You said it, Fnatic need this round. 37 seconds. And we'll find out if they can get it. NBK, Signet can't do anything with it. He gets taken down by Golden. After the UMP toward long they go. Flashes out and it's not going to work. JW gets 2 and Lecro behind the tree finally slides out to close off Apex.
G2 showing their hand towards A at the very start. They do some damage towards Flusha, pushing back towards the bomb site. They go back towards B there. Not really much of an execute there. NBK in towards drop down, completely wrecked by Golden as he jumps through the window of the UMP. He can't find that close range frag, and 5-3. Just looking a little bit happier now as JW goes for a lot of frags there beneath the tree. Had a teammate up there as well. But he's still not great for G2. They get the CZs out now. NBK will join them. 5 of those. 5 sets of armor, a little bit of utility. 1 smoke, 3 flashbangs. And what's the play here in terms of their setup? 4 towards A. Body just holding towards the B-halls. Shoxy gives them the bomb and falls back towards Body's position, so maybe they're going to just try and go for an A-split through the drop-down area. Crims now with the Krieg, he'll be using that towards danger. And probably quite a good spot for it. You can zoom in and see them running through. Always got the dot to work with there.
Some people use the dot as their full-time crosshair.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting idea last year during Pro League when we could swap crosshairs to replicate that of a specific player who was playing on the evening. First kill goes to the pistols. Body gets it at the window. Shocks is the one that actually takes the damage in exchange. He gets traded out, but he's left on 4 HP from his first affair. Crimson Flusha making good work and quick work of everyone else that remains, and finally Body decides to repeat JW with the kill. We get back within 1 round apart, 5-4, still for G2.
G2 with only 2k on Apex. What's happened there? Why is he got so little money compared to his teammates? Go on in the previous. I guess he did, and they didn't have the same amount of cash as him. He only gets 1900 this round, so they'll take a pause. G2 have called that. 5-4. Fnatic getting back into this one. This is the 3rd and final map to decide who makes it to the playoffs. The squad are looking too infused right now. Smiths will be working out what's the strategy here goes to the next round. Do they buy up around Apex with 2k? They can get 4 rifles and a CZ in his hands. He's on kind of 5 kills and 8 deaths right now. No orb for the Fnatic side. Their money starting to get stabilized now. Krieg's in the hands of Crims. M4s for JW and Flusha, AK for Lecro. Gordon also on the rifle.
So, NSG 5-5-3 on either side. Crims to carry it over. Why not? Flusha gets back inside a connector this time. It's Attempt to hold. Down again. The utility battle out toward long corner of A. He's going to land pretty much right on body. So all the damage that he did to Flusha while he was throwing it is canceled out or at least traded back. In fact, relatively evenly. 43-67. He comes out worse off. Molotov, and they want to clear the corner again. They have. Now they can set and ready potentially for a smoke execute. Only 3 smokes, but a smoke execute nonetheless toward both Romeo and the doorway, as Crims, I thought, was going to get a chance to see MBK's shoulder. Here they come. Flash off is well timed. Crims forced off the angle. They could at least get around the corner. It's Flusha inside of the site that will be their biggest threat. I think as well, I'm not sure that I spotted it. Is there a smoke on the inside of the APC or not? Because that takes off one of the other alleyways in which you can spot toward top mid, which gives Shox a better entry. It seems there's not. Could have sworn I spotted one, but either way, he's gone. He's past the doorway. That's the main thing. It could be another round similar to when he had the CZ that he gets behind. All of Fnatic, although they seemingly are aware. JW spots him, shuts him down, and Apex is left to his own device to try and walk in. Flash goes deep, spots 2, but can't fire at the correct target. The immediate threat was on the left. He chose the right, and Fnatic get the round. We're tied up.
It was Fnatic that crashed out in the group stages over in Kiev. Now making a solid case to break the playoffs here in Katowice. G2 looking frustrated almost. You can see Apex arguing with his teammates. Not looking too happy over there. Number 11. Pistols. Just the Deagles, PG-50s, no armor, no nades. And Fnatic to potentially take the lead. This is a T-sided map, and G2 actually managed to win the pistol this time. They've got 1 out of 5 so far. Flash up, good damage towards middle. The grenade might finish them off. Oh, okay, JW has an interesting approach. Pulls down the nade, stares at the eye of Shoxy. Yeah, looks like a very simple procedure here. Lovely work from the CZ there, just demonstrating his power. As they will spray down 3. Lovely control, 6-5. All power for Kenny S. Another quiet game for him, 5 and 7. 4 kills for body. 12 for Flusha. That's CZ getting it done. His final shot, I'm a big fan of. Very well done. Is the CZ too powerful? You be the judge.
I'm not a very good judge, Henry.
No.
Unfortunately, I just put everyone in jail for life.
Don't execute them.
Death penalty is illegal in Canada.
Yeah.
But I would if I could. You'd be first.
Doesn't surprise me.
I wouldn't wet the sponge either.
Doesn't that make it less effective?
No, it makes it more.
Exactly. Why would you wet
But it makes it painful. It's going to hurt you more instead of just getting the job done. Yeah, have you seen the Green Mile? Yeah, the waters are transferable for the.
Did I get more current?
It's like not a conductor. No, I forget what. Yeah, I think conductor makes it more immediate. I don't know. Watch the Green Mile, man. I just saw it there once. Some guy didn't wet the sponge. It made it real painful.
Well, there we go.
I don't know how it all works. Told you I don't apply that sentence very often.
First kill comes in. It's going to be JW goes down. It was Body that picked him up. Like he said, quiet game for him so far, but they've got the man advantage this time. There are 2 players for the Fnatic side towards A. The final commitment comes in. They'll just try and do what they can here. Krim's no longer with the Krieg in his hands. He'll have to be down to the AK-47 now. So G2 might have this round. MBK needs to find the frag. Wallbangs Flusha through the telephone pole. Bomb down, but Kenny S starting to find some kills now.
Krim sliding back out, though, from the hood of the truck. Seemingly getting at least 1 kill and getting away. Still dropped on the inside of the wall. Crims is going to set and see if he can find more when they walk directly toward him. He's not sure which side first. Sees the shadow, tries to react, and Kenny's got the angle. Not only does he get the kill on the op, he'll get the extra money for the plants, even though it's after the time. 6-6, and G2 back in the driving seat, at least for now. I say that, and there's tons of money for Fnatic, so they could easily throw out the spike strip once more.
6-6. Coming to the end of the first half now. Not clear who's going to be on top. G2, though, quite a convincing round in the previous. It will be the AWP for Lekro this time. It's very Swedish style counter-strike when almost anyone on the team can pick up the AWP. Lekro presumably holds towards the B side, not going to be coming towards the upper platform. So it'll be by the statue, JW by the broken wall.
might be close. Takes that fired shot through the wall. I thought he anticipated it, but then they walk in and both go down to Crims. It's MBK that makes up for it. 4 versus 3 in favor once again of Fnatic on the CT side, having come back from what was a 4-2 deficit when it looked like at 5-2 they were going to lose all of the momentum. It's now JW to take out Shocks, and this round looking more convincing as well. G2's looking like they don't have that much to work with on this map.
Well, for now, they'll have the work cut out for them. MBK and Body. Will be holding up. Both segregated right now. The bombs towards Long A and MBK doing what he can, but it's unlikely Fnatic even given an opening here. They're trying to run down the clock as much as they can. Necro holds the connector. Both of them heading towards A at this point. They have got smokes, Molotovs, but they do need to maybe find a kill before they can really commit.
Shot out, can't happen. Golden's already got the angle as the crouch peek seemingly not that effective for MBK. Leaves Body in a 1 versus 4, as you said. So 21 seconds. He'll go down. Flusha getting the round, and 7 of them now for Fnatic. Solid performance from the sexy Swedes.
14 and no money for G2. Good play from Golden.
So, as we mentioned, the spike strip could have been deployed, Henry. There's no one in the driver's seat anymore because the car's not rolling. Pistols, CZs. Flash down toward mid. Nate goes in. Even with armor, it's considerable. Apex left to 54 HP. Exchange from the pistols. Golden, I thought, was going to go down in that situation, but Lekro there to save him. 8-6 pretty comfortably. Straightforward.
Yeah, Fnatic do take the lead now. Round number 15 will come through. Money still poor for them. That force by didn't yield any sort of success. They're on the ropes. Remember, this is a T-sided map, and Fnatic looking quite comfortable here. They'll take a timeout, G2 that is. They've got to buy something. They've got less than 3k per player. Apex 1900, 2k on Kenny S, 3k Shoxy and Body. And the Smiths will have to think of something marvelous here. Discussing the plan. Former G2 player up until the start of 2016 and stepped down after a spell of poor form. The main AWP of the squad had to be removed to allow Kenny S to come in. This was known as the super team when it was first formed. They've won a couple of titles, but overall I'd say it's not been the hype we were all expecting. CZ across the board once again, smokes, flashbangs, and it might even get worse once Shoxy gets the surgery. Smith has to just step back in then. And I'm not sure what their plan will be at that point. They'll have to play Pro League, and maybe they'll step down for as many events.
It's an interesting. We talked about the necessity of getting wins for them as well at the start of Pro League, and they certainly struggled to do so. Good look down the B hallway. Smoke thrown out this time shallowly. They'll see if they can push through and take advantage. Shocks. Closest one to do so. In round 15, when you only have pistols, says something went terribly wrong with your economy. Shocks has to get out of the corner. He's going to go all by himself. What a brawler, unfortunately. Gets smoked with a baseball bat. Micro with the kill.
1 kill. Shoxy has dropped the last round of the first half. Smokes, flashbangs, that's all they've already got. No map control, no one at the platform, no one penetrated long A whatsoever. The halls will be the rotation point as they make their way towards the final play. Oh, they get 8-7, very unlikely at this point.
Shots coming in as JW cuts back from E-Box. Passive hold it long, no one directly close to the wall, and yet they still make good on it. MBK, though, gets one back, and Apex has surprised JW by being a lot closer than I think he anticipated. So a gun grab. 1 HP, though, for MBK. That's all that is left. As G2, with 2 players up, should be able to close the round. 8K, or excuse me, AWP for Crims. If it misses a shot, could give away one, but nothing picked up from MBK. And 11 seconds. 9-6. Fnatic turned things around. Remember, they were 5-1 down at a point as well, so that's a pretty remarkable turnaround on the CT side of Cobblestone.
Yeah, well, there we go. G2 at least making it competitive. Fnatic looking like the better squad here. Are they destined for the playoffs? Time will tell. Pistol could be very important. G2 only finding one so far of the 3 maps. Can they get anything more? Time will tell. We'll take a quick break and be back with the second half.
Intel Extreme Masters.
So G2, after having a great start, winning their first pistol of the series as well, and the subsequent 3-0, 5-1, lose the half 9-6.
Interesting tweet from Lurpers here. Maybe G2 secretly think that the CZ75 is better than the AK, so they mismanage their money on purpose to have an excuse to buy it. There was some absolutely mad times there when they could have got the AKs out. They completely got the money shut down on the Fnatic side, right? They could have afforded AKs with the 4K they had. Instead, they opted for CZs and Rush B, right? And they were up against SMGs and Famises. They could have just got the AKs out and run away with their round play default. They instead went to a Rush B, gave Fnatic a clean sweep. 5 players survived, and they bought the next round a really poor buy because they just force of the CZ and everything, and it was really weird in terms of their approach again. They're either force buying too much or too little. It doesn't really make any sense at all across the board. As we'll get into round number 1 here in the second half. We'll have a look at the buys on either side. CZ for body, seems to be buying that quite a lot in the pistols. HE for him as well. Costs $500 for the CZ, 300 for the nade. You do the maths. As we'll get into flush Molotov, 2 flashes, no smokes. Suggests they'll go towards B. Do need the smoke to cross on the A side. Body though, not having any troubles with the initial encounters. Double kill for him. CZ, nice and strong at that range.
Shot, Golden to get one back in return at least, but Shock's opened up the scoring, if you will, between the two. That was changed as Golden's gone to BK. All this round to sit because Bomb is now flung forward and Flush has got a long way to go just to get back to it. Finds Katowice and somehow gets away with 3 players staring him down. So gets the kill, takes the damage, but fades back into oblivion. The problem is, didn't get the bomb in doing so, so he still has to go back to where he once came. Flush is going to try to bait them in to get them to isolated headshot positions and forget the bomb altogether. 58 seconds. He's going to make us wait, Henry. He's going to rotate. Just kidding. Around and back to the top of middle.
Trying to make them sweat out, make a mistake. The thing is, they have the bomb, so why would they push any further? He'll have 1 kill so far. His body, they found the initial 2 kills. He's down to 11 HP. Actually, with no nades, no armor, will waste his weight as long as possible here. Seeing if there's any sort of opportunity towards middle. Maybe get them second guessing. Is he coming around all the way from B? He actually heads towards long, so he goes towards the B halls. Takes such a long route so they can't see him crossing towards the top of middle. This is a smart idea, but still a bit of a reach to justify a round victory. Can't find it. If he makes that kill, there's a real chance. But Apex will be aware, well controlled, and we'll get into round number 2 here. Presumably a force buy as G2 pick up their second pistol of the best of 3 so far. Starting to pad the stats a little bit more. Much needed pistol of that. Body opening things up with a nice CZ precision here. Could hear the other player drop down, of course, and takes him down. In the end, it will be a force buy across the board for Fnatic. Lecro with that deadly deagle. Watch out for that.
So, G2 and both pistols. This could be the game that actually they lose. They still have to play from behind. Similar scenes to Fnatic on Cash. Though there was more encouragement, if you will, on how it all transpired in the beginning. So FAMAS for Kenny. The M4 for Apex. Shot out from Lecro. Knows there's one up close at the stables, but can't do anything of it. Golden, much to the same, falls back off the angle, and even though the smoke is deployed, they'll wait. They have to. No choice about it. For a beautiful deagle shot is Lecro. He's been remarkable on that weapon, by the way. I've been rather impressed on that, just in specific, let alone the reinvigorated game from him. And it's the pistols and specifically that deagle that somehow find a gap toward the A site. They can't rush down to the site just yet. They're not quite in position. Golden still watching to make sure no one's going to be on top of the balcony. Bomb is in his hands. He dictates the pace in this round as well because they're still waiting for the rotation of body, and he's gone the long way. He's going to try and flank and hold them in. Concedes a bomb plant as a result of it. The smoke is going to get found as well by Lecro, who's upgraded onto an M4. This round's going to get stolen. Fnatic in great position. Shocks with an MP9 as well, suddenly at range, trying to work his way back in after the bomb plant. He does not have a kit either, and he's got no utility. Full HP on both, but Lecro holds it together, and Fnatic get their 10th.
They absolutely do. The first to post double digits here. Fnatic steal the round away in the second after dropping the pistols. So it makes that almost useless for GT now. They might have to force by themselves. What's the play? Do they go for a very conservative full eco here? We'll bring out the scout, the 5.7s, 2 5.7s. So, oh my goodness, they don't have any CZs equipped on Cobblestone. What is this? So
That's
the T side, they've got
bizarre.
all the CZs equipped across the board. CT side, they opt for a 5.7 instead.
Do they seem to think in some bizarre mentality that the 5.7 is actually better than the CZ? Obviously, you can only get it on the CT side, which is why they wouldn't replace it on that side.
I'll be honest, I haven't used it in its current form at all. I couldn't really comment too much.
There was a period, but it was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I same as you. I don't use it enough. It's faster to switch to, but that's if it's a secondary, not a primary.
It's definitely not as powerful. It's in the current game, it can still find frags, but I think it's more like close range and fast spamming. We'll see whether it can find any success here. Kenny S seems to think so. Put himself in a nice position. You can see once he starts missing a few shots, it's a little bit awkward, and CZ, you'd argue, probably gets that kill. As we'll get into a 3-on-3. Shoxy tagged up down to 13. Bomb's still towards top and middle, so remember, this is the force buy from G2. 7 doing good work this round.
He's behind the pillar. Gets one. He's holding the angle as well. He's just being a nuisance in that connector position. It's actually quite brilliant and beautiful to watch because he's got both CTs divided. And he's done so much work to distract that of Shox, that Shox is not going to be aware the bomb's going directly by him, and he actually had a chance to steal it and take control of the situation. It's Fnatic taking it over to B instead. Good call.
Yeah, and he gets the Molotov in the face as well. They're very aware as to where he might be. Goes towards drop down, 7 HP. Almost impossible to win this round with no kits. And that's if Fnatic don't make any mistakes here. He'll tag one, has to be the dink there though. Now they know where he is, it's unlikely they challenge again. They know exactly what weapon he's got, where he's positioned, and unlikely he has a kit. Already got the call with low HP already. Another missed shots. At this point, it's just him trying to keep them with the bomb and hopefully take a couple of them down once it explodes. But the challenge comes in. Jade facing together, it's Crimps to get the final killing blow there. And there we go, 11-7. Money in the bin for G2. Desperate times now. Likely to be 12-7. As round number 19 will come in. Mac 10's out. SMG's available. JW can bring out the sword-off shotgun. Haven't seen that for some time. He's purchased it in the last couple of months or so, but it's not like in 2015 when he's just running around a bit every single round of Cobblestone and drop down, actually completely destroying people. As we'll find out if this round will yield anything at all for G2. I think 1 kill would be the absolute maximum. And let's find out. Deagle there for Shoxy.
JW swinging wide behind the tree. He's going to try and do what he can with the Mac 10. He'll take down Body. Look at the headshot damage as well on the Shox. Okay. Mac 10's apparently just a laser beam when he's wielding it. Swing back around as well. Crims with the good shot. It's Apex. It's suddenly left in a 1 versus 5.
Clean sweep map, bonus round of sorts, considering they won the second round forced, but I won't call it strictly that. The money should be a little more stable for G2 at this point after taking the full eco. The AWP for Kenny S comes out. Just to know, though, he has not got armor, so if the Mac 10's going to get close to him through the smokes, negate their way through the bullets, there might be a chance here. Who knows? If they win this round, Fnatic, their money will be so astronomically high, I would say that's game. G2, a lot of pressure on their shoulders right now. Third and final map. It's been quite a quick day here. Number 2. 2 zeros in the first best of 3s. Obviously the beast is kicking off as well. Kenny S though, he shuts down the mid rush coming in. It's a nice call to throw in every now and then for Kenny S. You feel like he's going to get multiple frags here. He won't just go down with one. MBK joins in as well. The Mac 10's not really causing too much damage here as Kenny S gets yet another one. That armor starting to be a bit of an issue, but he's still alive and kicking. Flick shot coming in, but the Mac 10 does find him. Now things become a little bit more problematic. Crims making his way towards a bomb site. Speculative shots towards the door, doesn't connect. MBK through the murder hole. They can afford to wait up now. They don't even necessarily have to stay at the A bomb site, but the plant does come in. Damage done to flush up. Now already misses out on the escape routes.
Crims the last alive. Does have the bomb down. He can try and make do with the AK. Given the oh, the Mac 10s are gone. How does he hit MBK on that as well?
Wow.
That was a stray bullet. He went for the reload immediately. If he hadn't been prepared, he might have been able to find Shox as well. I thought that was going to work.
Plenty of time for the defuse, regardless of the kits. But very expensive round for the French boys. And remember, that's a bonus round for Fnatic. With the bomb down as well, they had Mac 10s in that one.
It's a huge success.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. They can give the round up and still know they've got G2 completely rattled at this point. They're going to be struggling to buy. They can drop an AWP, but what else? Had to reload.
Had to. Unfortunately, I did see the number that time, but man, oh man, that would have been incredible. Great reaction time to spot the second player by the ramp. So.
UMP for Mass, 1 kit. Kenny S, no helmet. They won't have SMGs this round, but it's signs of the times. G2, another must-win round once again. Fnatic know they have full control of the economy right now. It's such a difficult position to be in. Knowing that you lose one round, that could be the game. Just to break that down for you, if they lose this round at 13-8, they're in a double eco position. So have a force buy and try and avoid map point. If they do that and lose it, that's a game gone. Or they take a double eco after losing this one and they're a map point and have to hold on and play for overtime. G2 really do need this one. In terms of the general setup right now. Looking like a B execute will be coming in. Shoxy on the platform. There's a very common Molotov spot. You can see Crims finds one as well towards that drop-down room. If they can flush out Shoxy, that'd be a great start, but they need to wait for the smoke to go down first. They have a clean shot at it before they Molotov that position. There's the Molotov map. Will it be converted? He's burning, but he gets two. How has he done that? Still going to be an equal situation.
That's remarkable that he got two.
I have no idea how he did it. They knew he was there. They Molotov him out, but he still gets the drive-by, a clothesline kill. Two of them. Katowice on the AWP. Means the HP's not as much as a factor, but a boost comes in. Planted and a great shot. JW takes down one. And now Golden. With such an important play here. He doesn't find it. Apex takes him down. And that will be another recovery stance from G2. They're keeping the dream alive here. Still going to be struggling. They don't recover the AWP there. Yes, they did. They gave it to Kenny. I beg your pardon. So now Apex might have to drop something else. We'll have a look. No pause coming in. Fnatic with another buy. There's no, they win one of these. They can keep buying and consistently bring it down to the 1v1. They will find G2 a break point eventually.
So 3 rounds between them, but Fnatic still in control, and certainly you could argue they are with the weapons this round as well, despite that there is an AWP for Kenny. So an 8 thrown out to the door for anyone that's up close by Apex. No one is immediately. The Golden Boy.
$13 kills for him. This is a good chance to have a look. 23 kills for Crims. He really has been the talisman of Fnatic in recent months. At the top for Katowice is going to be 10 kills for him. It's actually pretty equally distributed. MBK's at the top, he's got 16. So he'll find the opening frag and give them another lifeline here. Remember, Fnatic so close to just running away with this game, but they can't find that one round. Takes the nade to the face and
BK though, you're right, they're so close to running away with it, but at the same time they've still got to win this round more importantly than perhaps Golden couldn't respond in time. Despite Apex being low, they do make up for it, and JW goes one further as he finds body behind the door.
oh, the HE grenade, the plume of smoke there protects them. That's actually something JW brought to their game initially, like throwing grenades at corners, facing the AWP, and using that little cloud of smoke as the veil as they find a completely open A bomb site here. Maybe not for long though, you can see rotation from Shox. He has given himself up though, can't find that killing blow. 9 seconds, the bomb will be planted. Big round for G2, remember. Shox, he's been so good so far. Can he find anything more?
Just gets nailed. He couldn't get the angle. It looked like he was looking toward the back of the APC, but Kenny, the last alive, has a kit, and he's worked back into the site. JW refuses, to reveal himself. So Kenny has to go searching, and he gets the shot immediately. It's on to Flusha. Back of the site. Same problem. Not willing to show himself. Thinks that Kenny's gone to the right. Kenny actually gets the angle and gets back over. And he's got the time as well. Does have a kit, excuse me. I thought he didn't, but
another
absolutely.
1v1. How many of those in a row are GC going to win? 3 to be exact. These aren't the cleanest of rounds, but they're all counting. Money might be broken for Fnatic. They might have to give in and realize they're not going to break down G2 that easily. They've tried and tried. It's just not happening for them. Still with a 12-10 lead. This map is absolutely anyone's. Number 23 comes in. They're going to force buy once more. Everyone's still fully invested. But Fnatic not as strong anymore. They were playing with 5 rifles for so long, and now Galil, Mac-10, UMP, 2 AKs, mishmash in the utility. Same story for G2, of course, but Katowice keeps saving that AWP, and something Fnatic certainly don't have. B-Rush coming in this time from one player at least. Flusha makes his way in there. He's got all 5 players in front of him. He's actually caused so much of a rotation here.
He's going to destroy them on that alone. Oh, what HP. He wants to bust out with that Mac 10 and take advantage of it. Smoke, oh, excuse me, in the flash! I thought going beyond him with that smoke down, he would be able to turn it around and catch off Shocks, but he seemingly was aware or caught a glance of him perhaps on the way by, but gets the kill nonetheless. Now they need to strike. Now they need to take advantage of the fact that Flusha had them all locked into B. As inside of the murder hole, Crims will take down one. MBK will know that he's there, but the flash won't allow him to go for the immediate repeak.
Wow, this is a huge round. Remember, Fnatic just need one to break them out of the game. They might have to consider saving all 4 weapons here, map.
They're going to, wow, they said they're going to. JW is going to back around.
I think they are now.
Okay, it's a good call. I thought JW was going to start swinging early to get behind them, which would have been brilliant, but nonetheless, Fnatic's not in the greatest position financially to do so. So they are going to back away, and Fnatic will get the 13th round. No more one-on-ones this time.
Well, they have to, really. As I've been mentioning the last 3 rounds, there's lose 1, and that's going to be it. The investments just cost them too much here. They'll only get 1,400 into the next round, so they have to just take this one on the chin. It's the correct call to make, and they will not be hunting for the frags. Katowice keeps his AWP. The M4, the AK, MP7 for MBK there. 13-10, Fnatic, after losing 3 in a row post their first. Nice approach from Flusha, though. Like I said, he busts out into the B site. Oh, he doesn't even get a fist bump. Poor Jumpy.
That's all right.
There we go. JW doesn't even hanging. He gets out by himself. 1 HP for so long. Does damage to 1. If he finds that kill, it would even make it more cleaner, but we'll see. Was it enough? Auto shotgun for Apex. Okay. Is that the weapon to save them?
Well, Kenny with the flames in front won't be able to see to the corner, but he still has the position on the stairwell. Deep smoke for him.
Yeah, it just pushes any AWPers back, allows him to establish himself, and they can nade that boost position right now.
Small gap in that smoke. I thought he might be able to catch if someone crossed.
They can even Molotov if they want to. I think they've already tried this one to smoke down.
JW will get away.
So they're going to try and lock him in.
Another.
Yeah, whoever it is, that's going to be JW, I believe. It's Lecro, in fact. So what does he do here? He knows what everyone's looking at him, but he actually rises up to the occasion. Dinks one, gets another. That's fantastic from Lecro, and sets up JW as well. That's an absolute blunder from G2.
And that's going to be enough. This round will be enough to break the economy down even further than it already
maybe.
is. But look at MBK. Shocks is going to complement it. M4 works, and they suddenly have the man advantage. Only for a moment, and then it's gone. A fleeting moment at that, because Shocks still has the AK. But bomb down. He does have a bit of time to work with, given that they're so low. And the smoke to connector, they may think that this is actually a safe place, if you will. And he could be sneaking in behind them. This could be huge.
Awful smoke in the connector did nothing for them, really. And now he thinks it's A, though, unfortunately for him. He spotted in so deeply towards B. It's not that they've masterminded this. They had to go back and get the bomb. It's just a happy coincidence. The moment they come back is when he falls right back towards A. And that should remove him from the round. Decent attempt, but he has to save the AK. That's going to be in the money well and truly gone now. If they're going to have any sort of chance in the next round when it's 14-10, what do? When they force buy in, this is where it gets disastrous. This is what Fnatic wanted. They knew if they could just win a couple, G2 would be out of it. They saved before. Still with the reinvestments, the money's low. With an AK, maybe that's just the play. They have to just go around with the 5.7s. Remember, they don't have the CZs equipped on the CT side. Which is bizarre to me, why they opt for this, the 5.7. I've not seen it do any sort of damage in the last 3 or 4 months. No, thought, wow, the 5.7's overpowered.
No, I know exactly that. I mean, it's one thing to go with an SG553 on one player for something different, but to do that, I'm curious. Perhaps their game's reset to default and they forgot to re-equip it, Henry. It's not like they install their own config, obviously. But it's a decision that they've made that doesn't seem to go much in their favor.
They're all in.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all, because again, it's G2, it's 14 rounds Fnatic. They're going to be facing overtime point.
Yeah, they've got the AK, and it's just so desperate right now. It's the only chance they've got is Shoxy just like faces the platform. Rails one, but it looks like Fnatic might be making it to the playoffs. Time will tell, though. Still a lot of work to do, really. G2 on pistols is no joke.
Waiting at the box. challenge it. He goes down, but Legro certainly does not. However, the force buy finds its form because MBK is going to take out Crims immediately after watching the smoke. Body's inside of it. Body could actually surprise them all with a flash. Flash a little bit early. Second one's not, but Flush is not blinded by it.
MBK tagged up. He might have got 1K on the other side of the map, but it might not be working out from this time. The smoke there, Flusher seems to just know coming through. Indeed, he does. And just Apex, he hasn't got any of the aforementioned weaponry. Just the 5-7. 3 versus 1, and he'll sit beneath the tree. We'll take a huge mistake here from Fnatic to even give him a window, even a kill. Hit the CZ or a bad though. Stop, traded out. 15-10, that was the force buy. In terms of loss bonus, they'll have the 3rd stage. That's going to be $2,400 per player. Half the buy, and G2, surely this is it. I can't see a world where they win this with just the 5-7s, Deagles, MP9s, auto shotguns. So max 7, MP9 for shocks, MP7 for MPK, 5-7 for Kenny S, CZ for body. Not
Good
great.
luck, my friends.
Yes. Fnatic don't have to do anything too crazy here. Default, work the map, find the shots, trade out kills, make sure the close range weaponry can't take them down too much.
So here we go, back into it. As Kenny S will be left with just the pistol to work with. Remember, in this version of the HUD, when nothing shows in that blue bar, it means they've only got a sidearm. So Kenny and Body both in the same situation. Nade through. Kenny might be able to do something with this. Has to back off of the smoke, tries to peek before it blooms, and Golden takes advantage of it.
The beginning of the end.
Well, perhaps let Apex decide.
Thing is, that's just such a one and done position, isn't it? Oh no, we're going to report him.
I would report him if he doesn't.
Is he
have
going to
at
about to
least
cheat?
one.
Is this happening?
He's surely going to get one. Golden is a wise man. Even the shadow, not enough for Apex to check the corner correctly. And Flusha gets the shot on Body. You're right. Beginning of the end in DG2. Unfortunately, can't come up with spades in the final map. 16 for Fnatic. They reverse the series and turn it around. Even when G2 won both pistols, it's their turn to steal the map away, and they'll move on to the Spodek Arena.
They do indeed. It's an iconic venue for a team like Fnatic. Maybe not with this particular lineup, but the organization certainly. And G2 be very disappointed that seems to be getting worse and worse as the time goes on. They can't even...
The super disappointing team.
Oh, that's quite good. I like that. But there we go. We'll play Fnatic, a 3-map slobber knockout.
Yeah, I like that word. It's a good way of putting it. I mean, look, they grinded back into that. They said it in the interview that they struggled on cash. That showed, but they made up for it. We'll be back with the desk in just a minute.
Vodafone presents the post-match.
Yes, indeed. Even the 2 pistols was not enough for the French here on Cobblestone. You know, we had expectations. In fact, Freiburg, to the right of me, did have a whole lot of faith in what Fnatic were going to be doing on Cobblestone. And, well, they do deliver. I'm joined as well by Chad Birchall. We're going to be putting our minds to the test to try and understand exactly where G2 fell short and where Fnatic brought home the winner. Reverse sweep as well. The Swedes do manage to do it in 3. I guess we just have to kind of say, you bang on. Did you get to see the smoke you asked for, though? I don't think you did.
No, not really, actually.
God damn it.
But then when I got back to the green room, I was watching the game, I was like, oh yeah, now I remember. Apex and Kenny. Name a more iconic duo to work A on Cobble, right? They're doing it every round and they're really good at it. But I think Fnatic, they had some cool setups. They were playing a lot together. This is what I love about playing together. Like on the city side Cobble, you play together on A. You don't play one mid, one matrix, like.
Right.
So you play together,
Make
they did it very good. They could trade frag them really well. They came out on top many times, but yeah, Fnatic, they played good. And Crims once again came alive on this map.
Yeah, he's woken up definitely just in the right time, getting them to that playoff stage where they still have to play another match for seed, right? So their last game, they who are they playing exactly? I just had the bracket up.
They're playing for the FaZe clan.
Yes, you're bang on. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You are bang on. That's fun. Yeah, so basically if they beat FaZe, then they go straight to the semi. If not, they play on the Friday in the quarterfinals. But for them to show up and Crims to put in that kind of performance, I've been saying ever since this change of Golden's come in, Crims has kind of changed as a player as well. When Olaf was in the team, he was the playmaker, Crims was the rock. Now, Crims seems to do it all. There's a lot more hybrid players in the squad, everyone can do it, and maybe it's map dependent. I think going into this one, I said that the win condition for G2 was to win the CT pistol. Maybe I should have said to win the CT pistol and convert. Yeah. Because I want them to get that AWP online very early, because I talk about the barometer player of Shox, you know, going wherever he wants. Cobblestone isn't a map on the CT side where you can do that, right? You're not pushing for information, you're not really going for those opening kills so much. You kind of go into your positions, waiting to be executed on, and then hoping you can stand up and defend. The guys from G2 are always really good at taking duels and picking them and winning them on their own accord. The issue is, on a map like Cobblestone on the CT side, you're dictated to time and time again.
Right, and what is also interesting is, you know, we kind of lost the talking point around Fnatic, which was, of course, their proficiency with that limited buy. We know G2 definitely like to bring that fight to them, but it is interesting as well that we did see big plays from players like Flusher with the CZ, who, I mean, that name a more iconic duo right there. In fact, you know what, I believe that the Flusher's CZ did come up as one of our play faster moments by Vodafone, but you can just take a quick look at the scoreboard first. You can see how things did shape up. It is once again Crims, but look at that, a loose and goosey Shoxy. 62 frags.
Yeah, look, obviously him having a good performance is great for maybe his confidence, but the rest of the team not really being able to contribute too much there. But this is the play you were talking about, Alex Flusher.
What a
Bang,
pistol,
bang,
right?
bang.
What a pistol.
Wow, okay. Well, Flusher, he had to use it, mate. He started to click and point and get the kills, so can't take too much away from the boy. You are right, Alex, he does love that gun.
But that's with one magazine of a CZ. You know, they say it's supposed to be like the one and done pistol. You're supposed to be able to get there, get the kill, get the weapon. He's mowing down 3. That's trigger restraint, and that's fantastic positioning and managing to mow down 3 very talented players in the form of G2. So yeah, credit where it's due. That's definitely a play faster moment if ever I saw one. Either way, reverse sweep, and they do manage to pick it up. Let's kind of get our closing points on this series, and let's try and summarize it in a nice well-formatted way.
As a starter, I'll say G2 continues to struggle with their best of 3s, right?
Yeah.
We've said that they're good in the group stages. Now here's a different system, as we all know, and they can't still close out on the best of 3s. They won the first map here, but they fell short. I don't know what to make of it.
I just think that G2, it's one of the things where the stars have to align. If all the players are going to show up and, you know, at least 3 of them are going to put numbers on the board, they're probably going to win because they have a lot of talent in this roster. My biggest issue with them going forward, not in this tournament, is structure. They can't fix structure in this event. They just have to hope with their next matchups that they can perform to the level they need to and everyone can get on that same page. Yeah. Otherwise, they're going to have the same struggles. It might be Kenny next time having the highest stats and everyone else dropping off. You need multiple of these players to step up, be on the same page, and be able to frag, you know, like we saw them do on the first map, Cache.
Yeah, and while talking about their next match, we can bring up the brackets. That will help understand exactly what's happened to G2. For all you French fans out there, look at the lower bracket. You'll see they were meeting the Ninjas after their success versus the Aussies of Order. That was a game we started with today. In case you didn't catch it, it was a rather one-sided affair. The Australians struggling to find the depth and talent necessary to best such a legacy that is the Ninjas in pajamas, albeit with some much fresher faces in it. You can see, and they did put up somewhat of a fight. The individual, Sicko for one, was standing up as tall as he could.
Yeah, look, some of these boys, they've been playing Counter-Strike for some time now, but they're definitely youngsters. There are talented kids in this team. I've, you know, played pugs with them back at home from time to time again. But being on this stage against calibers of players who play at the high level week in, week out, it's just a different ballpark, Alex. Yeah. It's like being thrown into a fire and just hoping that you can survive, and they weren't able to get anything done.
Absolutely not. Now, let's also mention, of course, FaZe have managed to pick up that qualification and be like beating North in that best of 3, and that was kind of systematic dismantling, wasn't it, really, Adam? I mean, you look at the highlights, you're just going to see not only the normal candidates, but Karrigan had one of the biggest games we've seen in years.
Yeah, especially out there on the first map, he had a great game, and it's fun to see. Even the in-game leader, I mean, he has been sometimes criticized for his fragging abilities, but you could definitely see he still got it in him. And I mean, then you have Rain, you have Nico, you have Olaf, you have Guardian. Yeah. Well, you know, if Karrigan keeps on playing like he did on the first map, where will FaZe be on Sunday? Probably with a trophy in your hand, right?
The thing with when you're FaZe and you're in this stage of the tournament, you're going up against these opponents, you're just super confident every time, because group stage is just like, the hardest thing is probably to motivate yourself for the group stage match, but they just came out confident here today. Karrigan leading by example. Those 30 kills, like you mentioned, definitely something to help the boys get inspired. Yeah,
and of course the luxury they have now is that they're one best of 3 away from the semi-finals. The way this format does work is they are qualified for the quarters by now playing the other team that is still in the upper bracket, which at this point is Fnatic. One of them will be securing themselves a spot in those semi-finals. Imagine that, just what a breeze for FaZe. Should they best Fnatic, they're on the semi-final stage, they're already in the Spodek, and they're one best of 3 away from a best of 5 final for a title.
I'd be really happy with that, I think. You know, it's kind of a run that you're looking for, right? If you can just win 5 maps straight, you're straight into the semis, like you're saying. You can look at the opponents, you can adjust anything you need to, take your time and come into that semi-final. As still one of the best teams in the world, obviously a little bit disappointing lately, but these guys have so much star power that there should be a shoe-in, you know, with looking at where we are at the moment to make it to that grand final.
And you have to play a whole lot more Counter-Strike if you're in that lower bracket,
Yeah.
which is, as you can see here, we can look at the Group A. There is some big names down there. Cloud9, your major champion, still in there, and they do manage to get themselves a battle versus the likelihood of SK. That's actually still going down. It looks very close on Overpass right now.
It's a comeback right now from the likes of Gambit. They're strung together, I think it's 8 rounds in a row now. The score is 14-12, so that's on the B stream if you want to check the closing moments of that one. But SK probably poised to take it, being on the CT side.
And Overpass, let's not forget that map. There is a third potential map that should Gambit complete that one, but that's happening right now on the B stream. You can find that very easily. It's twitch.tv/ESL_CSGO-B. And that could mean we have an SK Cloud9 rematch for one spot in the playoffs. How juicy could that be?
Bloody hell.
Yeah, that is a good game. See, like, mentioning that, like, a few weeks ago, like,
Right.
SK have, I don't know why, it feels like so weird. It's been like 2 events, and you kind of have, like, not lost hope of SK, but you feel like they are a bit down, right?
Yeah, I'm not. You're not alone. Definitely. I don't know what it is. It's not only the way they play it, come across in the server. It's what they say in interviews, and when you talk to them, it does seem like they've kind of deflated a little.
They're definitely not all smiles down there. You know,
Yeah.
I've been walking past. Normally, it's a little bit more cheery of an atmosphere, but this seems like they're here for business. And the problem is, you know, this SK roster, the family tag. It's better when things are a bit more fun. You know, I know losing sucks, and I still consider them one of the best teams in the world. And I was saying just last week, I still consider them the best team in the world. This is their chance to prove that.
Yeah, it's going to be a very intense game. Well, they're actually currently in one, but if they do, it'll be an even more intense game versus Cloud9 for one spot in the playoffs here for IEM Katowice. What a day. This is day 2 concluded. Day 3 is on the cards tomorrow. Let's bring up that schedule so you know what you have to look forward to. We're actually going to be bringing you some big ones. We get not only get to see NIP again, they'll be playing against G2, and judging by the French form, that's going to be a full 3-map beat 'em up, so look forward to that one. Cloud9 versus still to be determined, but that could very well be SK Gaming, and the other games are yet to be determined. That'll be solved for you as this day does continue tomorrow. Right, you can go ahead and get some sleep. We should probably do the same as well. Some teams gone, more teams striving for glory here at IEM Katowice World Championship 2018. We'll see you tomorrow. Get some rest, and we'll be back for more world-class Counter-Strike in the morning.
everyone? Welcome back here live on the B stream from IEM Katowice 2018. Me and Snods have been plugged back into the Matrix and we're ready for some more games.
We're already back here, and yeah, I mean, obviously, the best of 3 coming onto the B stream right now. The final match of the day is going to be this SK versus Gambit.
It should be a good one. Obviously, a bit of a big best of 3 to close out the stuff for us here on the second day. SK, when you look at it on paper, you think they're probably going to be the victors coming out, but it should definitely be a close affair.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the thing that's crazy for me is the fact that this is the, losers bracket, losers best of 3, and coming into this, obviously, whichever team does go away and walk away with the defeat is going to be going home.
Yeah, and that is the case, is obviously the fact they will be knocked out if they don't find success here. We've already seen VP go home, and that was a bit of a heartbreaking one, obviously, for them. Once again, being knocked out by Heroic. It's 2 years running now, just not able to get themselves into the arena and play in front of that Polish crowd. Now we get into SK versus Gambit. Gambit for them, this is really going to be a test of time as well. Obviously, for SK, it's more of an established roster. We know what to expect there. For Gambit, things have still been a bit up in the air in terms of what we've seen. It's been a bit flip-floppy on an event-to-event basis.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the first game, as you said, the VP losing out 0-2 to Heroic. Obviously, VP being high on the rankings. In terms of upsets, Jack, we were expecting those quote-unquote upsets to happen during the best of 1s. Then coming into the best of 3, it was what? A 16-8 on the first map being Train, a 16-4 as well, or a 16-5 at best for VP on Cobblestone. Crazy scenario, crazy scenes. And for me, is it? With the ranking system, if a team constantly is getting invited to all of these events, which VP are, does that, bolster them up even higher on the rankings? For a team like Heroic, they have to go for the open qualifiers, the closed qualifiers, and it's so much harder to get those, necessary points to, get yourself higher up onto the rankings. So, quite a food for thought, essentially, in terms of the argument upon that one. But yeah, for me, obviously, coming to this one, SK 2 out of 4 in terms of the Grand Slam, and right now that Grand Slam is starting to wither away.
Yeah, it's true. Obviously, looking like their chances there could be beginning to diminish. So it'll be interesting to see how that one continues on. Obviously, in terms of the event basis, they need to try and get through this, get through the lower bracket slog, and actually work their way back up and deal some damage. We do have the veto coming through now as well, so we can take a look at that and see how this starts to go down.
So, obviously, coming out initially, Gambit going to be banning Cobblestone. Surprising, obviously, back when they had Zeus, they were, nearly a year ago, touted as the best Cobblestone team in the world. Obviously, the nuke ban coming out. Seems like SK don't want to go near that one. Inferno being the pick coming out from Gambit, surprising. Obviously, for Gambit coming into this one with Seized as well, already going to be in the lower bracket, and bringing in the new addition to this roster. Obviously, Fitch taking the back seat, the bench. Obviously, remember the first game they played, the first official versus Stiffmeister online. In Premier, got to take them with a pinch of salt, but losing versus a UK team was quite the spectacle. Pick coming, obviously, Overpass coming from SK. And surprisingly, what's going to be left out of this one? A Mirage, probably going to be banned out by Gambit. But I guess we're about to find out shortly.
As we work our way through this video, obviously shaping up to be a bit of a juicy one with Inferno and Overpass being our first 2 maps. So you can see Gambit having a huddle as well, getting themselves together as the cash ban comes through.
Interesting. So obviously, next ban coming from SK. But so far, Jack, Inferno, Overpass, and the Mirage ban from SK. Wow, okay, this is very surprising. Train then being the last map, a map that Gambit are going to be feeling rather at home at. Inferno, Overpass, Train is going to be our battleground for this final matchup of the day.
Yeah, so we do have it prepared and ready to go. Obviously, in terms of things, why don't we break this down, Snods, if we get into that first map then through the veto as the Gambit pick of Inferno.
Yeah, even though the Mirage ban coming from SK did surprise me a little bit, I still think this whole map veto is very good for SK. Start off with Inferno, going into Overpass, going to Train. I feel like Overpass and Train, very good maps here for SK. But for Gambit as well, these map pools, don't want to say shared, but, they end up similar lines here. Both these teams are going to be fairly happy with the veto and how it went.
Yeah, obviously it did shape up to be a fairly competitive map pool overall, so it should put us into a good position when we actually do get underway with the action. Let's break this down then. These two teams, obviously, for SK, we've seen what they can do. We know very well what they're capable of. They looked pretty good in the first day of groups as they were able to find success there. Fell into the lower bracket, now obviously forced to try and go for a bit of a crawl back through.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is their first lower bracket game. They had the victory versus Avantgarde. Avantgarde, is that really the best test for this team? They had the 0-2 versus Charlotte in the upper bracket. Coming into the lower bracket, this is the first matchup here. And obviously, for Gambit, they had the 2-1 victory last night versus Tyloo in the best of 3, so they went straight into the lower bracket after the best of 1s. And here they are for their, as you said, the crawl through the lower bracket. I believe, SK have to win one more best of 3 and then they're through to the Spodek Arena. So for SK, I mean, obviously, with the Intel Grand Slam coming to a closure, they've got 5 more events, well, 4 more additional if you include this one as well. And they need to get it done shortly, as obviously as soon as that gets reset, it all goes back to 0. And how often are you winning these massive 250k tournaments?
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, they've got till the upcoming Cologne to actually try and work their way back through. That will be the end of their run through 10 events, the whole way back through again, full circle, Snods. So they are getting towards a close. Obviously, they do lead currently right now with 2 wins in the Grand Slam. But if you don't try and get yourself back up, obviously, if they were somehow able to be upset here by Gambit and not allowed to make it back to the Spodek and at least even have a shot at getting that extra title and their potential win on the Grand Slam, it would be a bit disappointing for them. But you've got to imagine they will be able to get their heads together and not have any mistakes here and allow that potential upset.
Yeah, I mean, because that was the argument, obviously. They went out in the quarterfinals versus Liquid at Star Series only a week ago. And obviously people were saying publicly, oh, it's because they're trying out new roles, they're trying out maybe a new map veto, map pool, new whatever you want to call it, right? And everyone said it's because they're putting all their weight onto the Grand Slam, all their weight into Katowice. Obviously the prize pool's larger, the basically pressure and the reward you gain is far drastically larger for this tournament in terms of what they could gain for victory. But obviously, you know, the same argument was always made when teams would lose tournaments to the, well, just, 2 weeks before the major, people would say, oh, we're saving strats, saving this, that, and the other. It all really comes down to those major tournaments. And still, they fell short. But yeah, I mean, Inferno for me, I think if Gambit win this one, it has to be a 2-0. I don't see them going the full 3 maps there. I still think SK win 2-0, but obviously for Gambit, if there is a chance, it has to be done in 2. I don't think, if the 3rd map's there, I still think SK claw it back 2-1 or 2-0. I'd say 65-35 in favour of the Brazilians. Yourself, what do you think?
I think, yeah, this is stacked in terms of the odds in favour of SK. Obviously, they are the team that definitely should pick it off and be able to close this one out. But then I feel like there is potential. Gambit definitely cannot be counted out here at all, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to take this series through and through. I reckon they can actually come in with an upset map win, potentially try and draw it out to the full hog, you know, get all 3 maps played out. But Inferno is going to be a bit of a hard one, obviously. I think this is going to be a really, really close affair on the first map, Snods. But it seems like we're ready to get underway. SK Gaming going to be over on the CT side. Gambit will be your terrorists. Let's see how this goes.
Well, here we go then. First map of the final best of 3. The loser of this one goes back home, as this is the lower bracket, as we mentioned before. This is going to be Gambit starting on the T side. Obviously, SK choose to silence this Gambit's map pick, and Fallen towards Banana already finds the first frag. So 5 versus 4 now in favour of the Brazilians.
Slow play towards this B site so far as the smoke will go over to at least buy him time on the push. They go for the face round. Fur gets contact, but he can't quite hold them back. Fallen there to assist as well. Fallen goes straight in, gets himself a free K into the round already as he's found frags with his USP. Hungry for more. Fur trying to bludgeon him down as they slip their way across into the bomb site. Dosia does get the headshot back as he pistol whips in with the Glock. But here's that convergence. You can see all the CTs rotating round Snods to try and stop anything going down towards this B site. Fallen as well wants to continue on his streak of kills in the round as Hobbit takes the firefight. But who's going to come out on top? Damage is done. Dosia goes down. It's just left on Hobbit with 4 HP. And Fallen gets a 4K into the round.
Finds the initial opener there towards Banana. Flashes through the CT. Smoke finds 2 more frags. And at that point, the round's pretty much as good as done. The best, possible outcome there for Gambit was to try and get the bomb down, but even then, that wasn't even achieved. 1-0 now, SK taking the pistol. And obviously, 4 MP9s, Jack. And we know how strong SK is on these SMG buys. Back when the UMP was in the meta and was so strong before it received that big nerf at mid to long range distance, in the second rounds, SK will always go for the 5 UMP buy. This is a team that is so used to wielding those SMGs. But already they're going to be leaving just 1 player, and that's going to be falling alone towards Banana. Having Fur going towards Archway as well, which means SK now have 4 players towards the A-bomb site. And a good read as well, as you can see, the Gambit players grouping up towards middle.
Push coming around here. Adren with the CZ, going to get the early spam out to see if he can find anything. No one's going to be there to greet him. Meanwhile, the true play develops towards the A site. They found their way around, but Coldzera's just set up to get an absolute cash builder going as he'll peek through and net 2 early kills with the MP9 and get the additional cash flow in his favor. It is a 3-on-3 though. Potential for a bit of a cheeky round to come through from Gambit here.
Taco as well towards Arch. Has to be wary towards middle, towards Library as well, as he knows that some of these players made it through that Archway smoke. Adren making his way through Apartments as well. So this is going to get quite dicey here for SK. Obviously, they have fallen towards Banana. Which begs the question, why is Fur on this B bomb site?
Seized. Goes for the play up. Fallen. He's got the angle covered. It's an easy frag for Fallen as well. And that's even more money going to be going the way of SK. They need to try and pay off the rebuys as this game continues through. 30 seconds left on the clock. Dosia and Adren see what they can actually find, but the bomb is miles away. They can't recover it. Even if they do find the frags, which they're unable to, Snods, it's not going to be an upset now. It looked like maybe there was potential, but it slowly trickled back into an SK round.
10 seconds left, and the best option here for Dosia is either save this MP9, Molotov, Kevlar, Tech 9, and try your damn hardest to not die after the time, and obviously dying after time when the teaser with the bomb is not planted means you receive no round loss bonus, and that's obviously a dire situation for Gambit if it happened, but Dosia to survive. He still has the MP9 to work with, but obviously if you are Gambit, you're not going to be investing around this buy. Instead, they have $2,000 across the board, so they can save this one, and going to round before they should be able to buy. And now the same narrative here for SK. Obviously, they have 3 SMGs in their arsenal at their disposal, so they can stack up some even more cash. Or, sorry, farm even more cash. Obviously, $600 per frag. Gambit just waiting towards T-stairs as well. Early Molotovs towards Banana. Fallen. Still uncontested here towards Banana. But it all really comes down to the buy rounds here, Jack. Obviously, for SK, already being into the low bracket might be a bit of a surprise.
Map control here being taken from Gambit, though, towards close mid. Obviously running the risk to see if they can go for the burst round. They bound their way through to try and go for this play. Cold0 of the MP9 just able to spray and dice him up for the additional cash bonus. Bolts as well, going to be able to aid his teammate as they take down Dosia. Seized is the third man to fall. And that is going to be all 3 rounds picked up for SK there as they finally get through him off the back of the pistol. Try and keep that economy getting a little bit healthier round by round as well. But here's where things need to get serious, Nods. The AK buys come through, and this is where the true rounds will begin to develop.
Well, first buy round here in this best of 3. SK obviously to a 3-0 start. MP9s are going to be converted as well into this round as well. They're not going to be disregarding them as of yet. So 2 SMGs to work with here for SK. Obviously, if they win this round, their money's going to be in such a stellar position. Smoke towards the top of Banana from Gambit to deny early Banana control. Quite smart, actually. What it does is it means SK wastes their utility. The problem is, though, Jack, this isn't really the most effective smoke because it doesn't really land perfectly. And Dren runs through Boiler, finds that first frag. So 5 versus 4. Off of the audacious push there.
Rotate coming through, back towards the A site now for SK as well. So they are actually leaving a huge gap in the market towards the B site. If Gambit want to try and get the feelers out and test the waters, looks like it could be a play towards B as well. So Fur's going to be fast on his heels to rotate back through to counter this, Nods, as they do get ready for the push.
That B-bomb site is completely bare. No players towards B from SK as they go for the gamble stack towards the A site. Losing the first player towards Boiler, they take that risk, and it seems like it's going to warrant some success.
Flashbang peek as well. The double face comes round, but they get the info, the read off the back of Dosia's AWP as he did go for the frag out. Going to be switching that weapon back and wielding the AK as well. As they slowly group themselves up, attempting to go for this late round burst towards A. But you can see, look, SK dubious as ever, expecting the potential wrap back round towards B. They do rotate 2 players off, but Fur's coming back through. They've waited too long, Snods. This could be their downfall.
25 seconds left to work with. Taco and Bolts alone towards this site. Fur towards Library as well. As Fuller makes a rotation towards B. All 4 players here for SK.
Fur with the first, shuts down Hobbit. More to be done as well, though. Taco with a double as he just sprays and hopes to rip them a new one as they try and slip in towards the bomb site. Fur with the double towards the end as well. And SK, even on the buy rounds, looking good. Little love tap as well from Fur there towards Taco to keep the confidence high.
Yeah, I mean, good... save onto that round from SK. They take the risk to stack towards the A-bomb site. At that point, when you have the MP9 as well for Fallen, you lose the first player towards Quad. You're in a 5 versus 4. Even if Gambit go towards that B-bomb site, the site that you left completely bare, you can save the weaponry you have on towards A. Yes, the scoreline goes 3-1, but then again, you still have such a strong buy into the next buy round. You can try and reset them. And here comes the aggression towards Banana.
Well, here comes the spray from Fur as they just go straight in, attempting to go for the play. Fallen with a headshot as well, double kill. Quick round as they make mincemeat out of him.
Round number 6 then. 5-0 so far for SK. This being the map pick as well for Gambit, and one of the crucial things to look at as well as the fact that the CT pistol was one for SK. Obviously, going into these buy rounds, we saw they had the Molotovs for Banana. They have the utility required to fend off and hold off Gambit back to when it has, 25 seconds left on the clock. And they can work with the time here. And now to this one, another buy round here for Gambit. They're going to have to start to find some success soon, but Fallen denies any chance of it already. Sees as well dice the Molotov, so it is a 5 versus 3, just 20 seconds out of the game.
Fallen still having a prod and poke as well as he gets a bit deeper down towards bottom Banana. Going to play close on tree. This is fantastic as well. Obviously, they can rotate off. Fallen's still got a smoke to re-smoke now. He can hold close bottom Banana control, allowing him to have 4 CTs towards A site. But there is a spam back through. Gambit still holding close towards bottom of T step, so Fallen's forced to fall back a little bit.
Bolt's there as well. Gets the third. Oh, actually, Godzilla, they're missing a shot you wouldn't believe him to. But nevertheless, 4 versus 2 here. Should be easy pickings for SK Gaming. Although, now things get a bit more interesting. 3 versus 2. 50 seconds to work with. Just going to be falling low towards the B-bomb side. Jump spotting though towards the wall at Banana. So he does have some early information. Falls back as well. Look at the rotation coming up from SK. Fur clears mid. They know there's no one there. As Mo lines up the smoke coming in towards Coffin.
Smoke goes down towards B, but the brutality is being dealt by Fallen. The elevated angle works out fantastically for him. More to come as well. Both frags being picked up, obviously leading by example right now. 11 frags to his name. No deaths. Fallen's just been decimating them round after round. They've already picked up 6 rounds here on their CT side for SK. Finally, a pause comes through as well.
Yeah, actually a pause coming out from SK. Technical pause as there is a microphone problem from SK Gaming. So once that is sorted, we'll be underway with the matchup. But so far, I mean, for SK, 6-0 start. Gambit lose 2 players early towards Banana, the initial start of that round, and it's so hard to recover from that sort of scenario, Jack, when you're a 2-player deficit. Especially versus a team like SK, where they're so good at transitioning advantages into success in terms of round victories. But for Gambit, you know that SK are, disposing so much utility towards the start of the round towards Banana. They're wasting, I don't want to say wasting, they're using 2 Molotovs at the start of the round towards B. Maybe try go for mid control instead while they're using their utility there. Take mid control, takes apartments control as well. Leave 1 player towards T-stairs holding in case someone does walk through that Banana smoke. Once the smokes fade towards B, come back towards B, take Banana control, force SK back onto the sites. Don't allow them to have free reign towards Banana, towards middle, towards apartments as well when there's still, 30, 40 seconds left. You have to take some real estate somewhere.
Yeah, there needs to be some kind of push and pull here, obviously, for Gambit. An adaptation is needed. They're struggling in a few of these rounds. They have actually been able to get themselves into manageable positions and make something out of it, but at times it's just gone a little bit south for them. The rebuy coming back through, though, so they will actually invest lightly into this one. Armor across the board. You've got free smokes, a couple of flashes as well as the pistols come through, but what are they going to actually do with this?
So, as you said, upgraded pistols. Tech 9 actually there for Dozier as well. 2 smokes to work with. So they can smoke towards Arch, smoke towards Minipit as well, and try rush up quad with those with those upgraded pistols, or maybe go for an apartments burst as well. Conversely, they could also go towards the B site, smoke off Coffin, smoke off CT, get those pistols close range in towards that B bomb site. Adren searching with the Deagle, trying to see if he can find an entry or try and find any sort of leverage for his team into this round as he tries to walk through the smoke with good timing.
Jumps down into the pit. Adren with the first opener, gets the Deagle shot, does land a cheeky little one into the back of Coldzera's head. So actually opens up a potential development into the round, but there was a response as well. Taco's low, only 35 HP though. It seems like Gambit must just wolf pack up and try and go for the burst here as Mo on the entry finds success. Mo as well with a double kill. That's the difference maker. The explosive CS coming through. They bound their way into the site as they start to lock it down now, fall themselves into post plants and decide how to play this one.
4 versus 2. Hobbit onto low HP, but they have the rifles that are salvaged off of the corpses of the players from SK. Bomb ticking away. The fuse gets low for SK into this one. Fallen getting in close towards Arch.
The peek from Fallen finds the headshot on Dosia. The aggressive angle doesn't work out. Even if they just save the AWP from this is still really effective. It keeps it out the hands of Gambit.
I mean, the money is so strong right now for SK as well. You can see $13,000 onto 2 of the players. They know the money's going to be low for Gambit.
This is awkward though, Snods. He's dropped the AK and the AWP. Isn't going to be able to cover either of them, so he actually gives it back by accident. A bit of a fumble there from Fallen.
Yeah, and seems like she will survive the AWP. But the idea there from SK is obviously their money is in such a strong position. You have 13,000, as I said, onto 2 of the players. The money is going to be low for Gambit. Try and diminish as much of their economy as you can. Try and force up as many rebuys onto the AKs as possible and deny the saves of the weaponry. So once the buy does come in here for Gambit, they have, you know, above $3,000 onto 3 of the players. So if the reset comes through, it won't be the most detrimental situation here for Gambit. They can still work with that. As we go into round number 8 here, 6-1 as Gambit pulled through the Cbble victory.
Early double Molotov as well from SK to try and keep an eye on their control as long as possible. HE comes through. It won't actually tag anyone up, just to try and force them back for as long as they can. So Gambit actually adapting a little bit smart there. They don't take the damage from the early HEs. Dosia gets tagged up ever so slightly. Goes for the flash pick. Dosia backs it up as well with the confidence as his AK will shut down Fallen in seconds.
5 versus 4 then, in favour of Gambit. Banana control going to be conceded here for SK Gaming. Instead they're going to have better positions towards the B-bomb side, boosting up Fur. And now for Bolts, he can go towards the A side if he wants to. He has Fur in a decent position here. And Fur towards the quad boost is very good at getting 1 frag and then trying to stay alive towards that quad position. As Bolts makes his way towards Speedway and is ever closer towards the A side. Unfortunately here for SK though, the real hit from Gambit going to be coming towards B. Dosia making his way out of apartments as well, so it will be the full 5 relentless force, essentially, from Gambit coming in towards B. Smoke towards Coffin, smoke towards CT. They have the flashbangs. Oh, actually, no flashbangs. So utility might be scarce here, Jack. Is that the opportunity SK need?
Bolts playing close in the smoke though. Fur also in the cheeky little elevated angle. It could be juicy if he gets the spray down he needs. Finds the first, stays alive somehow on 1 HP as well. So they're going to be paranoid about this push. This actually delays them even longer, but eventually goes down the wallbang to Mo with the AWP. That is incredibly deadly. As somehow Mo is just finding these frags. It's all on Taco. Mo's at the round of a lifetime as he punishes them all. Towards B, he was the difference maker, the steamroller that just picked them apart.
Yeah, the wallbang as well onto Fur. Obviously, Fur gets the first frag, survives on 1 HP, tries to delay as much as possible. You see he's trying to buy time for SK to come in towards CT and help him. Maybe a flashbang, maybe bait for his teammate towards the Coffin smoke. But still, 6-2 here. Gambit finding some, consistency here, chaining 2 rounds together. Obviously, it would have been a dire situation if Gambit had got reset in that last scenario. Could have been down to a very large deficit, maybe even 9-1, 8-1 at that point. Ooh. Molotov not going to connect towards top of Banana, so SK could push it if they wanted to. But they will send 3 players here towards the B-bomb side. AWP for Coldzera, stationed towards Arch. Fallen gets spammed through the smoke though.
Fallen has been able to get deep control towards bottom Banana. They're playing close on tree. Obviously, he has the extra smoke as well, so he can get that down when he needs to, try and run down that clock for the extra amount of time. Currently is a smoke up, so he doesn't need to just yet. So even if he only stays alive on 1 HP and can get the smoke down and then fall back, it's still going to work out well for him.
Minute left on the clock here then. Still, stalemate is in terms of kills so far. Fall onto 1 HP though towards Banana, playing the off angle. He's being baited for by Fur as well, so actually, even though he is onto 1 HP, could potentially find a frag if Gambit go back towards Banana. And they may as well. 45 seconds left as they make their way towards Arch. Coldzera hold of the angle with the AWP.
Smoke going over. Coldzera just honed in, waiting for the push to come through. Sees with the first frag off the AK, takes down Fallen. Fur will return the favor as he does the same back to him. Cold on the rotate off as well. Catches out Adren. Things get a little bit awkward. This could be the play from Taco that's the difference, though. If somehow Hobbit actually gets behind him, he can open up the site and aid Dosia or Mo, but he needs to be swift about it. Taco, elevated angle as he peeks up from the box, finds that kill, takes down Dosia, and this is where the cracks have started to show. Cold with a miss as the push comes through, but time is of the essence. It's now or never. Hobbit on the face. Hobbit does find the frag, but they need to get the bomb down and bolts his way in to farm the cash here as he peeks on the first. The pre-fire towards Mo, denies the plant, and racks up the money.
So interesting there from Gambit. One of the things we're starting to see now is if you're on the T side and you're in towards mid, you can smoke off just outside library. And what that does is, if you're the AWP playing towards library, playing towards mini pit, playing at the back of arch, it's so awkward because suddenly the Ts can get in towards CT and flank your B players. Therefore, you have to go towards library, hold towards speedway, hold towards CT spawn, and that severely weakens the A side defense. That's why Gambit did that. They smoke there, they hope that Cold Zero rotates back towards CT or towards library, and they walk up quad, not expecting an AWP to be there. But instead, the time was just too far gone. Gambit had to delay for so long towards Banana, waiting for those grenades to be extinguished. And eventually when they did, it left only, 28 seconds I think it was to finally come in towards that A side. But this time Gambit up in the tempo.
Pushing their way straight out as they try and go for a very ferocious play. Adren's the only one that's able to get anything out of it, though. The agility being displayed with the AK as he finds the first frag, but it's just left on Mo. Site control claimed. Bomb plant going to go down into this round. Potentially not, actually, as he denies the plant, realizing they're close by. Still a minute left on the clock, but look at Cold's position. Going to play a game of peekaboo and pop out at the correct time, try and take him down as they want to get into a bit of a tussle. Mo trying to invite them into the bomb site. Gets himself into a position to actually finally get the plant as well, as he has to try and allocate these fights one-on-one, but they're not going to play it like that. They push together, they play it smart. Fur finds the kill. SK get themselves another round on the board. 8 now picked up. Gambit still only with 2 in the bank.
The bomb was planted though, Jack, so there will be more cash here for Gambit to work with. 5,000 for most. We can go for the opener. Kevlar if he wants to bring out the glass cannon AWP. C's can buy, Hobbit can buy, AK Kevlar, but no utility as well. Kind of an awkward situation here for Gambit. Do you go for, the triple rifle buy or the 2 AK, 1 up buy, no Kevlar for Mo, no utility for Hobbit? Then obviously have, UMPs for Dozier or even a Galil if Adrian wanted one of those, but obviously would severely lack utility. Bit of an awkward buy here if they go for it. But then again, you concede 9 rounds already for SK, so basically lose either way.
Yeah, obviously, for Gambit, things have just been quite tough. They've actually found a couple of rounds where it looked like if small tweaks were here and there, it could have been a bit more in their favor and they actually could have showed down. But SK just look really on the ball right now, obviously for Fallen as well. Knows his limits, but knows he can play with that confident style of CS. And he's just been able to find massive impact frags, round in, round out, and deal the early damage that's necessary.
So Gambit, after the pause, going to be calculating the risk versus reward. Going to be going for the quasi buy and potentially going to buy up into the next round. Obviously, this does mean they might potentially concede 9 already for SK. But then again, if they'd forced into this one, Jack, and lost it, we could have seen a ridiculous scoreline already for SK.
Spam comes through, Fur with 2. As he picks them up, mows them down as the push trying to develop in towards the B site. There actually could be a bypass here as well. Taco, he went on the aggro face towards second mid, wanted to try and go for the info play, so Adren's got past him. Adren now coming back up, spots him as he had to clear it, and gets gifted a free M4.
4 versus 3. All 3 players here from Gambit making their way towards the A side. Cold Zero punishes Dozier, goes for the flick, but seems like he may have lost his mouse in that play. And then he had the balls towards Arch, finds both those remaining frags. 9-2 now for SK, extremely comfortable half so far on the CT side. And for Gambit, one of these rounds they won was the, quasi-buy, where they had CZ's pistols, they found the frags mid, they rushed up quad, they caught Taco off guard when he was transitioning from balcony to the default site. And apart from that, when it comes into these buy rounds, SK just dominating Gambit. Well, round number 12 here, 9-2 as I said before. 7-round deficit for Gambit so far onto the T side, the map pick they chose as well being Inferno, and the next one being Overpass. Molotov at the top of Banana trying to deny any chance of SK claiming top Banana control early. But this is the nice change here from SK, I like this. You've seen, or you've witnessed now, they haven't dished out the double Molotov, they haven't thrown out the smoke towards the bomb of Banana as well. Instead, they're going to be saving and holding on to the utility towards B. For Gambit, maybe one of their discussions they had during the pause was, let's Molotov the top of Banana, smoke it, deny any advantage from being gained from the Molotovs at B, take mid control, take apps control, and then come back towards B when SK run out of utility instead. And how? They have it all to work with. But let's see. Smoke's coming out towards CT. Only 1 smoke thrown, so probably going to be trying to force out the mollies and force out any grenades they can from SK. But no one's budging and no one's overcommitting. As now SK, if they go for the re-execution towards the B bomb site, SK going to know exactly what's coming to hit them.
Setting up the smokes. By smoke, so just mean the one on Dosia that's going to go out to allow them to actually get past CT and force them back. But the peak will come through from Fallen as always as he charges straight in. Gets tagged up though this time as he's kept at bay. The spray from Fur will be able to deal enough damage though. Connects on the head and lops it clean off of Seas. He's able to keep the ball rolling as well as Adren goes down in seconds. The adrenaline is pumping here for Fur and the CT side of SK as they've kept everything at bay. Push is stopped. It's absolutely halted towards the end as it is taken down. Cold and Fur get a frag each respectively, and SK get 10 rounds on the board as we get into round number 13.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of strat just isn't going to work versus SK. SK isn't a team that's going to crumble in those sorts of scenarios. You know, you're not going to be seeing Fallen just throwing out his Molotov for no reason. Only one smokes towards CT, no flashbangs as well thrown from Gambit. Bit of a poor fake if you ask me, but nevertheless, round number 13 here, 10-2, 8 round advantage here for SK on their CT side as Gambit forced once again onto the quasi-buy in terms of pistols. Going to be grouping up towards apartments, which means we're probably going to be seeing, you know, an apps burst, something fast towards the A site, trying to swarm Taco at balcony and the A players. But Fallen this time, not going to be Furrer, is going to be joining the A site defense, leaving Fur alone towards the B portion of the map, obviously. Fur still has the Molotov and Flash to work with in case Gambit still went towards B. He could hold them at bay for those extra seconds while the rotation could come through. But Gambit grouping up towards middle as they walk through the mid-smoke and they're trying to rush down these players at A.
Take the control towards quad side here as they slowly push through. Oh, seized as well. It's a nice little frag coming through. The pistols are actually looking quite deadly into the round until you bring Fallen back into the mix. Taco as well. As all the frags go back in their favor in a very quick margin. It's just C's left as he's slipped his way over towards B. 45 seconds left on the clock. The bomb is basically irrecoverable at this point, especially if we do see the push from Taco down towards bottom mid. He's just going to be trapped there. They do peek round as he tries to take the firefight. Realizes that he has to do something soon, though, as he backs off. And essentially, this is just going to be a free round for SK now. There isn't going to be much time left on the clock. If he does get over towards A, Taco's still there. He just needs to hold the angle. Tries to spot him out. Does actually get a rough idea of what's going on. But look how little time there is, Snods.
Yeah, 18 seconds. I mean, for CST, you can try and die before the time does eventually expire, or save the AK into the next round. You are buying, so it would still work, but even then, it's going to go 11-2, obviously. It was expected. It was just the quasi-buy coming from Gambit. You saw the idea there, going in towards apartments, going in towards quad, trying to burst down the players if there was an ult, maybe towards quad or towards arch, but instead, nothing given away for free from SK. Round number 14 here. Already 11 on the board for SK, so double orb set up here now, coming out from the CT side. This time it's going to be Fallen and Cold Zero wielding that. So Cold Zero orping towards, obviously, Arch. Fallen going to be orping towards the B side. Something we haven't really been seeing so far as well, which could be something interesting. Obviously, for Gambit, we've had C's, Hobbit trying to get aggressive towards Banana at the start of the round, and will they be expecting the orb from Fallen already?
Oh, mass heavy nade here towards bottom Banana as they just throw everything down. Try and blow them away. Gambit aren't going to be restricted by it, though, as they weren't in any prime time angles. A minute and 30 seconds left on the clock as Gambit still play their slower style of CS. The default coming through as they set up and get prepared for the round.
Smoke towards the top of Banana. As they do not want... Oh, that's... Wow. Supposed to go to the top of Banana. I guess it sort of has, Jack. Instead, it's landed on the railings, so that won't hold SK back at all. Instead, 4 players stationed now towards the A site from SK, leaving just Fall alone with that AWP. And Seized might be walking to his own trap here as he set this one up as he missed the smoke, but Fallen misses the shot, but Cold Zero doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Cole's going to show you how to use an AWP towards the A site as he gives you a masterclass there. 3 fast frags, one after the other, as he bangs them all down to the ground, and it just falls on Dosia and Steez as the last 2 men left alive. Sees towards the B site. Could be playing a bit of gun game as he switches between those weapons to try and recover. Grabs back his AK. The bomb is down such an awkward spot, though. Cold has clear vision on it, Snods. 30 seconds on the clock. It's going to be now or never. They're basically just going to work as a duo, but even then, it's going to be hard for them. Flashbang goes over from Seized as he allows them to push in, but the miss there from Cold Zero as the push comes out towards the site as well. Taco and Fur, both of them are in position. this push comes around, they just need to be ready. Fur focusing in, expects them to go towards quad, but he switches back round, peeks towards Archside, gets one, wants to continue the spam, and doubles it up as well. A meal for two there, as he takes them both down in seconds.
Yeah, better antics there towards the B-bomb site. Both players fallen and seized, having a bit of a whiff. Still, it concludes in the same scenario. They're left falling alone towards their B-bomb site. Seized, obviously finding their frag, but not able to capitalize off of it. He rejoins his team towards middle instead of going, into B, towards CT. Never expected Fur to already be in towards Arch, on towards the A site. 12-2 here. As things are getting quite bleak for Gambit. They're going to have, 2 Galils, 3 AKs. Pretty poor utility as well, actually. Only going to have 2 smokes to work with, so it might be an eventual hit towards the B side, but Dozier lines up the smoke towards Arch. So now only 1 more smoke to work with, and that's onto Hobbit. What can they really do here? Group towards B, potentially? Especially now as they find the first frag onto Fallen, boosted towards the wall.
Fatality there for Fallen, but more coming through from Fur as he peeks back out. Bolts as well, just needs to obliterate him, but he's not given the chance he needs. The Hailstorm of bullets gets cut short. Cold Zero through the smoke though as he dives in, shows off the acrobatic skills that he has, and lands the first on Hobbit. Peeks for more. Cold somehow as well, fights through the blindness as he takes down Dozier, and sees, loses his face as Taco takes him down.
The muscle memory there from Cold. 13-2. I mean, it's quite hard to even get into this matchup, but we'll be getting back into it shortly, obviously. For SK Gaming, if they win that second half pistol, we're going to be going to Overpass much quicker than anticipated. But join us shortly after this short break.
welcome back everyone. SK currently leading on Inferno with 13 rounds as they trailblaze ahead. Gambit, only 2 rounds. That's all they've been able to muster up. And even then, it's been a bit of a struggle for them. Obviously for SK, unexpected to even see them in the lower bracket here, but they're making it work for them. Obviously wanting to try and get through those games as quickly as possible and grab a spot at the Spodek. They do not want to miss out on a chance at that.
Yeah, I mean, 13-2 half. What'd you even say? I mean, for Gambit, this is their map pick as well. You're thinking, okay, coming into this one on the T side, they've chosen this map. They're going to have set defaults, set strategies, you know, tactics that can grind out rounds. Get 6 rounds as a bare minimum on your T side. Apologies, but aggression towards mid here as I believe Bolts has spotted out.
Ooh, Seized with the first, gets the tasty little headshot. Actually does some more damage as well. Seized is able to find 3 somehow on the opening pistol, so it looks like it will be a Gambit opener. But even then, it was so direly needed. If we did actually see SK take the pistol, that basically would have been the game right there.
Yeah, I mean, Gambit claiming the second half pistol here, Jack, and they're still 10 rounds down. Goes to show how one-sided the CT side was for SK. As they will be going for the force spike. And what's it going to be? 3 CZ75s to work with, 2 PT50s as well, and 2 smoke. 3 smokes, actually. So that might mean we're going to be going towards the A site here, Jack, which would be quite interesting to see. As for the CT side, scout for Mo. 2 M4s, 2 SMGs to work with as they go for the early nades and the early tag damage onto Taco towards mid.
AG's rolling down as they play a bit of bowling to actually blow them out of the server. As Taco falls down first. Dosia as well gets himself into a prime position to have a field day with his MP9 if they do decide to go for this burst. 1 minute and 25 seconds still left on the clock. You can never really count SK out either. They can be mean machines when it comes down to these rounds. They always know what they need to do and how to back up their bold claims. As the smoke goes out, the flashbang to allow Fur entry, but will he find the frags? The peek from Seas, the M4 in his hands as he's able to mow them down as he gets the first 2. Holds back as well, supported, even though he's on 6 HP. He doesn't want to go for the face as he knows he's so low. It's not worth the risk. The peek from Bolts as Bolts confidently charges through. Cold lands a nice little tap as well back on all into Dren. That's a glorious shot, but he needs to do more. Forced to retreat, tagged up, but he isn't quite dead just yet, and he can still try and fight the good fight. Goes down in the end as Gambit will pick up that round.
13-4 then, 3 players staying alive as well for Gambit, so their money is going to be in tatters if they do lose one coming forward. And now for Gambit, the main goal here is to stack up and farm as much cash as you can as you are versus the eco from SK. You've still got, 3 MP9s in commission. Farm up the cash with the SMGs. Don't give away, casualties essentially. Have 4 or 5 stay alive and avoid the rebuy into Kevlar, weaponry, avoid the drops as well and keep your money afloat because if it becomes a scenario where you, get reset essentially, the game's over.
Oh, heavy deep HEs towards bottom mid here. Mo as well. He'll be able to grab 2 in swift succession as he takes them both down in seconds. Cold0 will fight back through. Obviously, the P250 can always be a bit of a punishing weapon. But Dosia and Mo for the ending as they will get the additional cash. Obviously, really soaking it up there as they're able to find so many frags to those SMGs. But now SK get their shipment of AKs. They've been delivered. They've got themselves ready. And let's see if they can rock and roll.
5 AKs here, as you said, for SK Gaming. Good utility as well. Going to be 5 smokes to work with. And for Gambit, going to be transitioning out of those MP9s and into the rifles. So all for Mo, 4, well, actually 3 M4s to work with. MP9 as well for Dosia. They have great utilities as well to use. As the Molotovs come towards Banana at the start of the round. Aggression towards Apps as well from Dosia. Playing in close with the SMG, of course. As SK Gaming, they show no early presence towards Banana. Or towards Millers that is patiently waiting. 3 players towards B from Gambit as well, so they are going to be able to, gain Banana control, but are they going to have the rotations coming back in time? Can SK pounce within reason?
Smoke goes down. Dren going to be holding the angle as the push comes through. There's the flashbangs over as they decide to work their way up. Smoke going to be responded as well. Fallen just on the pre-fire, hoping he can connect him if he did cross back towards the bomb site. But it's just been a lot of ruckus, but no real commit there from SK. They're going to use their smokes as well. The flashbang goes over. If they do try and go for the play, the cheeky boost as well, it could work out well. But Adren was able to stay alive.
50 seconds now for SK. They got the smokes to work with and the entry as well towards CT. C's taken out of the equation as they are going to be grouping up towards the B-bomb site now, but Hobbit Makes a rotation in. Adren has to go huge towards Coffin before the smokes land.
Taco been tagged up. Hobbit actually does get the headshot off as well. Eliminates Taco, but Fur's been able to get himself on the site as they want to try and go to toe. Now into this play. Adren actually does fire back through. He's able to land the shot with the M4 and slow him down ever so slightly, but the bomb plant will be committed to now as they finish it off. Adren is just dealing damage. He's getting critical frags that are going to be the difference maker into this round and potentially the overall game if he can keep this up. Elevated Agua play for Fur, though. It's quite flamboyant. Let's see if it pays off as the push comes out. Dosia with the MP9 of all weapons on the retake, and Gambit get themselves 6 rounds.
They keep this one going, Jack. 13-6. A 5 versus 4 as well. Hobbit gets the frag through the smoke, as you said, towards CT. Then suddenly a lifeline's gathered. Obviously, Fallen are going to be expecting the flank coming in from Banana, as Gambit waited so long to come in from behind, as they all just were so worried about CT and Ruin. You had, Fur, elevated angle, as you said, towards CT, covering that position. Fallen towards Coffin, holding for the Ruin push. So they had a good setup until Gambit came in from behind. Round number 20. As it is the quasi-buy coming out from SK, just 1 AK solely onto Fur. Scout as well for Fallen, as they will have something to work with. Mo as well takes a shot towards mid, readjusts now, goes in towards apartments, and Taco maybe walking into his crosshair.
It's quite aggressive here from SK. Obviously, in terms of the buy as well, it is just the 1 AK that's been donned, so Fur has to really be able to back up his plays into this one as he peeks out towards close boiler. Just going to be going for a bit of a sniff and try and work out if he can work out where anyone is actually playing from on the close angle. Dosia coming through. Dosia takes him down as well with the flick as he finds the frag with the AK, annihilates him, and is able to back off and stay alive. So the push from Taco can actually recover the AK and hold on to it, but it's still a little bit awkward into the round. 1 minute and 5 seconds left.
An advantage now for Gambit, as they're making their way in towards middle. Leading just seized alone towards the B-bomb. Side Doge with the second as well. Goes for a third, but eventually traded out there by Cold Zero. There's still 3 extra members here towards the site from Gambit. Tag. And the frag eventually connected here from Bolts and Fallen as a combined effort. Mo annihilates Bolts. So it's just going to be Cold Zero in the 1 versus 3. 40 seconds to work with. Bomb towards quad. Maybe trying to come in towards the B site. Get an extra frag on the player towards B at best and save their weapon to the next round.
Yeah, they can just defend the bomb. Obviously for Cold, it's not really likely he can achieve too much, as he will just slowly creep behind them. 20 seconds on the clock that begins to dwindle away. For Cold, his hand's kind of forced into the round as well. He has armor and a deagle, but he doesn't want to lose those. He can actually help himself if he holds onto it into the next round, however. But he is scoping out. If he crosses as well, Hobbit has the angle. It's going to be an easy frag from Hobbit, but actually Cold turns on him. Finds the frag with a deagle. Might just get away with his life into this as well as he pushes through. Wants to grab an AK, but the peek from Mo kills him after time. That's not ideal.
That is far from ideal. And he will be going for a CZ buy, obviously unable to invest into the AK after dying as the time expired. 13-7 and Gambit. Where was this on the first half? If this was more competitive, right, a 9-6 maybe, and there was, this would be like an 11-11 scoreline right now. I'll be saying Gambit have the momentum in the second half. This is actually winnable now for the CIS team. But instead, it's still a monumentous lead for the Brazilians. Molotov at the top of Banana here again from SK. So they are denying early Banana control from Gambit. Or from Mo. Stationed towards apartments. So Fur going to be having that duel.
Oh, Fur as well with a smart read. The wallbang comes out, punishes Mo. Just leaves his body lifeless on the ground. That's a huge opening frag as well. That's really going to come in out to be able to pay off and help out SK as the round goes through. Sees with the aggressive play towards bottom Banana, but Fur is still continuing on his warpath. Gets a further frag as he takes down Dosia, passes the AK over as well, and will instead wield the CZ into the round.
Aggression towards Banana from Seized, as he waits behind that smoke. Has no utility to work with as well. I mean, if Bolts finds his frag towards Banana, the B side's completely clear, and Gambit probably forced to save as well into that scenario. But it'll be Fur smoking towards Library. Still 2 players towards the A site here, Jack from Gambit. As the wide face comes in as they gain information. Push comes through, Bolts finds the frag onto Seized. Fur as well connects it with Taco onto Hobbit. Just going to be Adren last alive. So 14-7 now as SK. Seems like they're finally getting back into gear here into the second half, and they should still be there now.
Yeah, for them, obviously, round 22, you have basically double the rounds of Gambit. And you're in a very good spot. Obviously, you have a healthy buy coming out as well. You've got full on the AWP. AKs across the board. Absolute barrels of utility for him to try and go for this play. Whereas for Gambit, they're just going to have to try and deal with the hand they've been dealt. Obviously, the AWP coming out on Mo, though. That can be the difference maker. You've got free kits. You've got the HEs as well. They could actually go for a deep HE play once again towards Banana. But there's the response instead. Bolts doing it back to them.
Yeah, actually deal quite a bit of damage there. Apartments, 4 and finds the first frag. Ooh, nearly gets the second, but actually Mo going to go for that trade kill, so it will be a 4 versus 4. Actually going to reposition towards Apartments once again, so Mo constantly trying to see if he can feel and find these entry frags for his team. As they make their way back towards the B-bomb site here. Flash comes in, Sees spots 2.
Oh, this is going to be horrific for Seized. He's actually getting the tags out. And luckily, Adren was there to give him a bit of a helping hand as they take down Bolts, but Taco gets the trade as we fall into a 3v3. This is going to be hard as well. It's going to be a very intense round now. As SK slowly encroach towards the B site, hoping they can topple the defense that will be waiting for them on the other side as they breach into the unknown. As they slow it down, use that utility, double flash, double smoke, get the smokes out, make your lives easier, block off their line of sight. As they slowly get ready for the play, and here they go. Charging their way through, straight through the smoke as well for Fur as he wants to try and take them down, but Adren was able to punish him. He was ready for it. Hobbit in the elevated angle as Taco glides towards him. He'll find that frag, and it all comes down to the big man himself, Cold, in a 1 versus 2 now as he pops the head of Hobbit. Tries to go for the peek on Mo, but Mo has the AWP, and Mo has the round.
Reset now for SK. 14-8, and Gambit are actually bringing this one, I don't want to say dangerously close, but they're bringing it within reason. But as I said before, the reset comes in now for SK. If Gambit claim this round, it goes to 14-9, then suddenly it's an eco for SK. So it could be seeing a 14-10 score, and it will be a T-side tactical timeout as SK have to try and avoid that full reset at all costs, because if it does become 14-10, Gambit, you know, nearly, 2 buy rounds essentially between SK and themselves. Each round they win at this point, they're going to force SK onto a, quasi-buy, a weak buy at that. So it's basically 2 for 1.
2 for Tuesday slots. But it's Wednesday.
Yeah, Orange Wednesdays. 2 for 1 tickets to the cinema. Is that just a UK thing, or is that... I'm pretty sure it's just a UK thing.
Who really knows?
Who really knows? Have you ever done it?
No.
Same.
Well then, back into the action here. SK, 14 rounds. Definitely in the lead. They've been going large and in charge. Fur now, 22 frags, has overtaken Fallen, who had a tremendous early game with 11 frags in however many rounds as he was just getting shots off in second after second, just being able to really take the advantage for his side.
Yeah, 11-0 as well. But speaking of confidence, C's pushing down towards middle. Going to be spelling out towards Vietnam. Gets actually caught off guard there from Bolts, but still wins that duel. And stays on 100 points of health, so no bullets being connected there from Bolts. Mo as well, the aggression coming in towards second mid. Gets spotted out eventually past the fullback.
Yeah, misses the shot, but do they know the location of C's as he slowly trots towards them? Fur does. And Fur isn't going to muck around as well. Gets the headshot, and he goes for the peek and sprays with the AK. Dosia, a bit of an awkward fight there, but he still comes out on top as he tackles Taco. Push coming through towards mid. Fallen going to sprint straight in with the Galil. Is there anything glorious to come? Hobbit wants to end it, doesn't want to give them any more chances. Fur has to fight back through as he will claim the head of Hobbit. Get the smoke down as well to block off the vision. Fur actually being the one-man army in the round that is the difference maker.
2 versus 2. Fur going in towards CT. With 40 seconds left here, Jack, this could be the flank coming in towards CT, all the way in towards the free bomb site. Cold Zero towards Apartments actually will eventually go down. Dozier finds that frag, so now 1 versus 2. If only Fur had more HP and some utility to work with, He can plant open. Problem is, it's so hard to win this scenario if you are Fur. Do you go towards the back of side? Do you go towards Banana? Do you go towards RERUN? Where do you try and bait out these 2 individual 1 versus 1s?
Fur just trying to go for the play. Decided to all in, put all his eggs into one basket, but he trips over, he breaks all the eggs, it's not gone well for him. So Gambit actually do get 9 rounds. And considering the position we were in at the end of the first half, Gambit are bringing it back in a very effective fashion, as the scoreline isn't that big now.
It's quite big, mate. 14.
Yeah, they're catching up, mate. They're getting it going. They actually get momentum behind them. They have economy to work with, obviously, for SK as well. Could be broke into this round. This will be 10. It's not unachievable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously a 4-round deficit is completely different to what we saw earlier when they were 11 rounds down at the start of the half. And that really goes to show, you know, only one T round has been won for SK. They lose 5 in a row. They win their first buy round. They get instantly reset. They lose their force by that being the last round. And now onto the eco. Should be giving over double digits here to Gambit. Especially now as Mo finds the first frag as well. Just going to be 3 players remaining.
Yep, make that free as everyone crumbles down. Ooh, Fallen with the deagle frag comes out, but there's the trade back on towards Fur as Fallen can't do it all on his own. Just completely cleared out there as well as the Molotovs go down. It's him and Taco remaining, but they're spread thin. They're not in really effective angles to do too much into the round as Gambit set themselves up to, at the very least, get themselves to 10 rounds on the board here as Dosia finds the wall bang on Taco. And it's just Fallen remaining trapped at mid, about to be converged upon as the Gambit squad want to just hit him hard and fast as they group up. If he goes for the play through the mid-smoke, they'll brutality take him down, but they don't realise they charge straight past him. Fallen gets a free frag, but Dosia will demolish him.
Well, 14-10. Obviously, that was the eco from SK. Nothing really to delve into that one. As we go into round number 25 now, no AWP for Fallen into this one. As it will be the 5 AK buy once again. Are we going to be seeing more of a default set play from SK? Will they go for the banana control, apps control, obviously, with Taco and whatnot? Go in towards, you know, mid default, take mid control. They force Gambit back onto the side so they can go for an execution, the mid-round call if they wanted to. Or do they go for a set play at the start of the round? As it is, 4 players actually going towards second mid. No one towards banana at the start of this one. Mo spotted out by Cold Zero. And Zero will get away scot-free as well. So, SK playing this one slow, expecting something aggressive from Gambit potentially.
Gambit, as they hold towards top banana, slowly slipping their way back down. So he's going to go for the play here as he advances quite deep into the round. Obviously, can get that second smoke back out to restrict SK's play into the round, but they're grouping up. They're going to go for this heavy strike towards the A site. You've got the Molotovs and the utility to back this up as they smoke over, start to bound their way through as they slip round towards quad side. Can they actually get in? The peek from Seized as well. It comes in, that's the bomb down on the ground, Snods. This should be the 11th picked up for Gambit here as Dosia gets the headshot back. Taco, he might send Dosia off to the Burns wall, but it's far too late. Cole with a wall bang as well. Taco, further damage being dealt as he shows off those marksmanship skills, rampant stuff with the rifle as he entries.
Coming in towards the smoke at Arch, Cold Zero. Capitalize off of that one. 1 versus 2 now. Seized. Has the defuse kit to work with. 1 flashbang as well, but now he's been spotted out.
He's been detected. Pop flashes over though to try and give himself the leeway to work with. Goes for the spam, expecting him on the close box, but he isn't there. Tries to just go for this bold play. Taco just depends on the timing, but instead he could only focus on one man, so Cold's given the opportunity to face. Finds the execute. That is now 15 rounds secured. So match point is there. Obviously, at the very least, they've got the overtime safety net. They've got that to play with. Let's see what actually happens here for Gambit as well, because the cash is pretty broke.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a shame as well we saw such an uneven start to this matchup. I mean, into the second half here for the CT side for Gambit, the current scoreline is 8-2. Showing a resurgence on their CT side defense, but obviously, you can't forgive the pass, Jack. And Mo getting aggressive here, trying to see if he can stamp his authority towards mid. As he is the one wielding the, you know, only real firepower here for the CT side when we look at their buy. PT50 for Adren, Fatmas there for Seized, you know, 5-7 for Dosia. He must really hate the CZ, you know, Tech 9 on the T side, 5-7 here on the CT side as well. But enough of that. First frag found here from SK. Bolts finds that one onto Seized when it gets boosted up. And now the minute 15 to left to work with a 5 versus 4 and no utility left for Gambit. No smokes to delay SK, no Molotovs to try and burn SK alive, essentially. As this doesn't look too good here for the CIS squad.
Ooh, Far as well, making this round even more in their favour. As he finds a free frag there, takes down Mo. So it's just Dosia, Adren and Hobbit remaining. 1 player towards the A site. You've got the 3 Ts there grouped up to try and do something a little bit troublesome. Meanwhile, towards B, that's where a true play is developing. Bolts and Fallen are there lying in wait. They have that utility to give themselves a little bit of an edge as they slip through. Hobbit playing close, though, on Speedway. It just depends with the timing as Fur could be coming through to backstab. After they get this frag on Dosia as well, if he actually peeks round and goes back towards balcony side, it could be awkward. But as of right now, the telegraph at the A site is clear. The rotate comes through. Time is low. Potentially, if Dosia waits and peeks when he sees the bomb, that would be quite good. But obviously, for Dosia, didn't realize he was going to try and go for the face for the audio Q peek, try and see if anything was there. Instead, just get shot in the back by Fur. They get a free plant, and towards bottom, Banana box lines him up and mows him down. Finish with a little finesse there.
Yeah, I mean, 16-10 obviously for SK, pretty much always in the bag after the first half. You know, a 13-2 on your CT side of Inferno. Especially for a team like SK as well. This isn't a unit that's going to be giving away or choking away those sorts of leads, especially as you add in the fact this is a group stage matchup. It's not as if it's a semi-final, final, where there is that added pressure in front of the crowd. So yeah, I mean, 16-10, clinical play there from SK obviously into the second half. You're never really worried for them. Yes, Gambit got double digits, but it doesn't really reflect how one-sided this matchup really was.
Yeah, that is very true. Obviously, the first half was a complete blowout. SK were just able to find every round they wanted. It just looked great. Fallen had a fantastic early game. We saw Fur come into his own. Nearly had 30 frags there, obviously finished on 27. Overall, it looked effective, it looked clean, it looked clinical. Yeah. We get to the second half, slight bit of resurgence for Gambit, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's weird as well for Gambit. It felt like the confidence was on the second half when the game was almost, already lost, if you understand what I mean. Like, the pressure was gone, there was no pressure, there's nothing to lose. C's pushing down middle on the pistol on the buy rounds. You had Mo as well, running down mid, peeking towards second middle. But yeah, where was that aggression? Where was that confidence in their own game style and their own game plan on their, T side? Obviously going versus Fallen. Fallen being like 11-0 at one point, basically having no resistance, showing no obligation. And then Fur as well, as you said, nearly 30 kills as well. So great performance from him. Obviously, that was the map pick as well for Gambit. So there's an extra worrying sign going into Overpass, as it is going to be the map pick from SK. So from Gambit, you have to try and think, forget about that first half and think on the present. Almost isolate into two best of ones at that point, because you're now going to be going on to the grounds that were picked by SK.
That's the thing. You've got to try and mentally reset yourselves and not let it affect you as much as possible when you do go into this next matchup. Obviously for them, if they lose this, it is going to be a quick 2-0 from SK. But it did just seem like Gambit lost all confidence on their first half. There was more aggression on their CT half than there was in their T half in terms of the playmaking they went for. Fallen was the one that was really doing all the damage early on the CT half, just pushing out, taking the fights when he wanted to. But that is going to be the first map closed out. Obviously, there's more to come here in the best of 3. Can Gambit try and get it together and come back through on Overpass? The pick of SK. Find out after this break.
Intel Extreme Masters.
Hello everyone, welcome back. We've just had the first map concluded with SK picking up victory there as they closed it out on the second half. Obviously had a tremendous lead. Took them a few seconds to actually get their heads back together on their T side, but once things started to work out for them, it was smooth sailing. They locked it down. They found success on Gambit's map pick.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Coming into this best of 3, I spoke about the maps being, I don't want to say favoured for either team, but more so equal. You know, all of these teams, both of these teams are going to be, comfortable on all of these maps. Inferno, now Overpass, and then coming into Train being the final map. You know, do I see this going the full 3 maps? Not necessarily, especially because of how strong the CT side defense was for SK on Inferno. Coming into their own map pick now onto Overpass, I just see them getting done in 2.
I think I'd have to agree, to be honest with you. I mean, SK shouldn't really be losing their own map pick here. Obviously, for Gambit, they can play Overpass, but I don't feel like they're going to have it in them. There was a few rounds where, especially on their CT side, they actually started to get momentum going. It looked good, but it seemed like it was
late.
Yeah, it was more of a flash in a pan when it actually did happen.
Yeah, simply put, just too late. You know, the 13-2 CT half from SK was far too high for Gambit to have any chance of coming back into that matchup. You know, they found, some rounds on their CT side. I believe they won, what was it? Like, they were 8-2 up, essentially, when it got to match point for SK. So we said, okay, what if there was sort of more of a competitive first half, maybe a 9-6 scoreline instead of a 13-2? Could have been seeing more of a, equal matchup, maybe an 11-11 or a 10-11, something where we could be getting into the game. Because the problem was, the first half was so one-sided. And then into the second half, yes, Gambit showed some prowess, something to work with, but it's still a struggle to really get into because you always know at the back of your head, SK have still got this one. There's always that 7 round buffer and they're always going to get the job done eventually.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's the SK factor. It's the fact that any one of them could pop off at any moment and be the difference maker really into that match. And that's kind of what it was. We just saw SK, as soon as they had cash to play with, really, were able to start to bring it back into it. There were a few rounds that could have been changed here and there as well. If anything, it could have been an even quicker game for SK, but they pick it up anyhow. They do find success in Inferno. Into Overpass, what do we see? Where's the potential? How do you think this is going to go? Is this a clear-cut 2-0 from this point, or is this where Gambit might have some kind of momentum? Obviously, actually, like they got better towards the end of the game there, but is that really something we can trust or expect?
Well, this is going to be the map pick as well for SK, so obviously Gambit get to opt for the side they want to start on, and obviously they're going to be starting on the CT side of Overpass more than likely. So, pistol round goes in their favour. Maybe we see 9-8 rounds in their CT half, and then going into the second half for SK. If they lose that second pistol, then maybe there's a chance. The problem is here for for Gambit is SK have so much to work with on their T side here on Overpass. This is a map where they are so strong at their defaults, leaving Taco alone towards the B-bomb site, having fallen work on those picks towards the toilets, towards towards the A portion of the map. And they're so good at getting the first frag on this map and also working around that. What does Taco here towards the B side? Does he anticipate close monster setup? Can they exploit that with flashes close range going towards the B side? Basically swarming those CT-sided players that go towards the A side with their executions. The defaults on the T side of Overpass are so good for SK, and I just don't see Gambit having it in them to hold it off. But then again, we've been wrong before. Okay, Gambit come back into this one because obviously, if they lose this, they go home, they're back to the drawing board, and this is the, the biggest tournament, till Sydney, essentially.
Yeah, this is quite an important one, really, for Gambit to actually
there's the dream hack.
Get something out, but yeah.
Marseille, but even then, that's a while away. This is the tournament which, leaves the sour taste in your mouth if they do exit prematurely before making it to playoffs.
For SK as well, the same could be said, because by no means should they even be in the lower bracket at this point. It's the fact that obviously it was the huge overtime game, the controversy that goes along with that, but the fact that they ended up here in the lower bracket. Essentially, when you look at it, now you think, right, this is just going to be them trying to steamroll through, obviously, whoever their opponents are. You just got to imagine them as kind of like the Undertaker right now, taking anyone down that dares to go up against them.
I guess. Can't give any more to add on to that one, mate. Wasn't a WWE fan myself, but I believe the game is going to be going live shortly. And yeah, the pistol round is pivotal here for Gambit. They can't allow the momentum from Inferno to carry on from SK into this matchup. But we'll be finding out shortly. But yeah, scoreline predictions, Jack. I see this one being a 16-9 for SK. Yourself?
I think this should be, yeah, probably within the region of that, like 16-9, 16-7, somewhere kind of around there, depending on the start. If Gambit actually get a good pistol, I think it could be slightly more so in their favor, but their CT side needs to be looking good for them.
So there is a technical issue right now, which is being sorted currently, and obviously once that is fixed, we'll go live back into the action. I don't know. What do you think of the Seized versus Fitch? What do you reckon about the new edition of Seized? What do you reckon?
It's interesting, obviously, into that game, Seized actually looked pretty useful, obviously quite effective in terms of the fragging capability. Seized was playing a hyper aggro style of CS, though. Very deep, obviously, a lot more aggression coming through on his CT side. That's where it's always going to be questions, though. On T, they look like things were a little bit incoherent. Quite a lot of weird calls that came out for them. The rounds they did get down to were obviously just kind of blips here and there. From his CT side play, though, it was very in your face, very loud, raring to go. You could see his confidence was there, so it's by no means him still trying to find his place in the lineup. It seems like, if anything, he's kind of walked in and decided, you know what, I'm going to go off the leash and do what I want.
Interesting. Obviously, the argument there is experience over firepower, I guess. Adren, in an interview, said, obviously, Fitch has the better firepower, the better aim. He's going to be getting more frags on the scoreboard. But Gambit, as a collective, thought, you know, we don't need the firepower. We need the experience, the cohesion, someone that's going to be there when crunch time is of the essence.
Well, we've got the thumb from Matya, so I think we're going to be ready to go as the game looks like it's going to kick off.
We are live, so coming into the second and potential final map here for Gambit into this tournament, I am Katowice, lower bracket. C is going to be buying the double flashbang defuse kit. Ooh, 2 Molotovs here for the T side. So if they do go towards B, they can molly out towards, barrels, molly out as well towards graffiti, towards the B lower side. But already falling lines of the Molotov towards barrels, the flashbangs come in as they rush towards B.
Ooh, Hobbit's down in second. Spur with the early entry as he bounds his way in as well, gliding up and down like he's on a trampoline. Cold with a juicy little tap as well, takes down Mo. Oh, Cold is just snapping their necks back, Snods.
1 versus 3 now for the new recruit, the player we were just talking about. Finds one in the 1 versus 2 now, but there you have it. Bounce towards CT, has the aggression, and connects the shots. 1-0 for SK. As they are going to be going for the force buy onto Mo. Who else is going to be forced? But that's quite strange, if we do see one player force, obviously, you wouldn't expect it from the AWPer, essentially, especially on a map like Overpass, on your CT side where the AWP is so important towards long toilets, towards middle, towards everywhere essentially on the map. But it is going to be the 4 SMG buy once again from SK. 1 Galil for bolts, as they are going fast towards B short, exactly where Dozier is.
Dozier charges out with a 5-7, actually on the aggro there as he gets the first kill. Punishes bolts, but still, the SMGs are in play. That just means the Galil's down, so maybe a little bit more restricted in terms of range, but Taco and Fallen do have UMPs, so it's not going to be all doom and gloom really for them as they get ready to go for this play towards the B site. 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock.
Aggression towards middle here from Hobbit. Gambit have the read. They're going to be expecting the push coming in towards B, but the rotations aren't there in time. 3 players coming in from SK towards B site, which is currently clear. So just 1 player towards graffiti. Smoke comes out towards the lower position of CT, and the flashbang comes in to clear graffiti.
Oh, flashbang over as they push round. Taco going to find the frag on towards C's with a UMP. Just lying in wait as well. Coldzera hungry for him to dare and try and defy him. As Mo gets tagged up, eventually finished off as well with a nice little finisher on the end there. Finds the headshot to take him down. Hobbit with the CZ, fighting his way through as he peeks out through the tunnels. But both of them crumble away. SK get both of those rounds now.
Round number 3 then. 2-0 for SK. Obviously that was the full force from Gambit. All 5 players forcing as well, Jack. And quite ironic that they used the spray of the smiley face. Might not be the best representation of how they're actually feeling mentally.
Yeah. Turn that frown upside down.
Maybe that's more of an accurate reading, but anyway, it's going to be the EK from Gambit. Obviously, they have so many SMGs for SK, so they can be effective at farming the cash, as they all go towards connector as well, trying to see if they can find and isolate 1 player here. Taco, only into a 1 versus 1.
Yeah, he was trying to start a sauna there as he chucked the Molotov out, but instead he'll have the frag anyway. Goes for the peek and finds the headshot back on towards Hobbit. Everyone converging up as they link up, try and just go for the brute force play, charge your way in. use the player advantage you've got to just overwhelm them with that unrelenting force. Ooh, hello.
Well, there's one kill at least. And before it is traded out there by Bolt. So Dren, last alive, obviously has the UMP in hand, so each frag he finds could be pivotal. Obviously $600 per kill with the SMG. As their money is going to be low going to the first buyout here, Jack. That SMG money could have been extremely potent. But yeah, round number 4 here. 3-0 for SK as they also have the map advantage. Gambit are going to need to find success early into this first half. We saw the difficulties of when you concede too many rounds in the first half. It's so hard to come back from such a deficit. But it will be 5 M4s here for Gambit, 5 rifles to work with. No defuse kit as well here for the CT side. And 4 smokes, 3 flashbangs, and no molotovs for Gambit. The buy is so weak, and you can see they're getting aggressive towards connected. They need early kills here, Jack. You know, if the round continues and there's still 50 seconds left on the clock and it's a 5 versus 5, you're going to be favouring SK. Although, are you? Look at the buy for both these teams. Still keeping forward 3 SMGs here. You can see the confidence is gleaming from SK.
Yeah, they're looking resplendent into these rounds, obviously wanting to just try and farm up as much economy as possible. If they can, they might as well. They've got the confidence to go for it and play it out as a bit of a scouting round as they take their charge through. Going to be grouping up towards toilets and go for this slow play as they're diverted into 2 little packs. As the play comes out, still a minute on the clock here, Snods to decide who'll be getting the opening rifle round.
Let's see who will claim that one, as it is going to be the boost towards sandbags, and actually from Gambit, rotating C's towards the A site as well, as it seems like they do have a bit of a read that SK are going to be committing towards A. Smoke towards the end of long as well from SK, so they can group behind the smoke, flash the SMGs over. But Adren, close range as well versus the smoke could be the resistance that Gambit need as they make their way through middle, through A long as well. They can line the smoke up towards bank and burst through this smoke.
Charging their way around, first straight in, doesn't detect anyone. It allows the Dren to switch through and get a double kill as well as, wow, actually just damage. Good stuff from Mo, keeps it going. Sees for the final frag on Bolts, and they all crumble away.
Well, better start for Gambit than the last map. 1 to 3. As it will be the AWP here for Fallen, so obviously for SK that was sort of a bonus round essentially. You're carrying forward 3 SMGs. You can see the thought process, behind it as well from the Brazilian team. You take mid control, go in towards connector, walk up towards A long, smoke the end of long so there's no AWP that can be facing your rifles to have the range advantage. You get up close towards A long with the smoke, you flash through, you burst the site. Poor timing there from SK. The smoke fades, they want to go for the face. They basically get destroyed by those rifles, but now SK are going to be having a strong buy into this AWP for Fallen, as I said before, and 4 AKs to round off the rest of the buys. They go for the contact play through connector. As they leave, as predicted, Taco alone towards the B-bomb site. 2 towards mid and 2 towards connector as well. So it will be an A default coming in from SK so they can gain map control early. From that, the execution they can have, they can try and find the first frag as well. As I said, Fallen so good at gaining the first entry frag and advantage for his team towards toilets and towards mid.
Ooh, they go for the jump face, and Fallen, he's fast when it comes down to those flicks, so he will be able to land the shot. Takes down Mo, so that's already Mo out of commission. This is good. They're finding the cracks and the crevices that they can capitalize upon as they slowly go for this play towards the A site, clearing out these angles as well. Fur with a flash push in towards toilets. Actually, the HE push as they go for the counter boost play as well. 35 seconds on the clock as they're raring to go. The engines are being revved just outside the A site. Taco with the first frag. Fur as well, going to be able to back him up as it just comes down to Dosia and Hobbit. They're not in fantastic angles either, and they're miles apart. It might very well have to be the save here, potentially, as they're going to try and readjust the defense and run away. Yeah, the full-on save. Just get out of there and try and stay alive.
Yeah, they have to save in this scenario, obviously. Dosia can drop over an M4 into the next round. 1400 as well for Hobbit, so they can actually drop over 2 rifles here if they save from Gambit. And obviously the 4 M4 buy could be effective. Mo has enough for an M4, Dren has enough for an M4 as well, so the buy actually could be decent. 4 Gambit into the next round, you know, 4 rifles, maybe a UMP for one of these players. A player has to invest into some utility somewhere. But it does go 4-1. And SK reset the round loss bonus for Gambit as they claim their 4th round now as we go into round number 6. And yeah, Jack, this sets up the narrative where SK, if they can reset, which they already have the money for Gambit, then win versus this Force Buy, they go 5-1. Eco for Gambit. 6-1 could be the scoreline on our screens, and at that point on the T side as well for SK on their map pick, you can see they came here ready and prepared.
Yeah, SK looking good so far on their T side. For Gambit as well, in terms of the investment they've gone for, it's quite restricted on utility slots. It's not too fabulous for them. Obviously, the economy not going to be able to support and bolster that bigger investment. Fur straight through as well, but let's see if the X-God himself can actually hold them back as the push comes round. Fur trying to hit him hard and fast. Dosia plays behind the smoke, gets the initial kill, but Taco's there for the trade as he'll be able to take a bite straight out of him. Cold as well. This is massive. He just cuts the rotate in seconds, especially as he finds the frags, annihilates him with the AK as Mo will go down. Adren will be able to get a little bit of adrenaline pumping through his veins as he fires back, but already it's a bit of a tough one for them. It's quite late into the round. They have no kit. You can play for exit frag, sure, but that's about as good as they're going to get.
Ooh, 2 versus 2 here, but it seems like Adren opted to go for the save 20-30 seconds ago, so Gambit not going to get overzealous into that scenario. They are lacking the defuse skill as well, so the time has ticked too far down. And it will be 5 now for SK, so Gambit will save 2 rifles to work with going to the next round. So at least that's something to work with. But yeah, 5-1 hit, Jack. Other 3 players from Gambit going to have to go on to full eco. Unless they try and force around these 2 weapons, but that might be a bit dangerous. And they could be digging their hole even deeper. 5-1 already. SK with a commanding advantage into this one, especially as you add into the fact it is the T side for SK. So 4-round advantage, looking strong, and it is going to be the eco for the remaining 3 players here for Gambit. 2 rifles to work with. So are they going to stack both the rifles together? So if that SK go towards, say for example A, those 2 rifles can save towards B, or are they just going to put both of them in the same site and see if they can get aggressive and have some magic into this one?
Bolts with the AK kill on towards Hobbit there, gets the early opener. Adren will be able to fire back through as he does find some success with the Silence M4. Bolts keeping it going as well. Headshots coming out as we go back into this 3 versus 4. Mo, he's on the close angle with a P250, but they're not going to push up close enough to actually give him that golden opportunity to strike and cause any potential cracks or crevices.
SK making their way back towards T-spawn, it seems. All 3 players here from Gambit towards the A site. Obviously, they can try and salvage the weapon that was dropped towards Playground. But even then, no Kevlar here as the players are saved. Hobbit and Adren have both been taken out of the picture. Just unarmored opponents here for SK, so clean, clinical, efficient as well. It should go 6-1. Gambit pushing towards middle. They're going to retrieve the 2nd rifle, so at least they have something to work with. They can save the 2 rifles as well. Obviously, that saves themselves the investment into the next round, which means more cash to work with. They can invest into the utility into round number 8, which could be something to help them, because right now it's all looking rather desolate here for Gambit.
So they're going to try and go for this play. The B site is completely open for Gambit. It was a bit of a gamble, obviously, trying to go for the stack towards Deep Park, yourself towards Party, towards Close Long as well. Angles that aren't really going to work out too well, and the B site has been taken. So SK go for the incredibly late plant. They're going to realize what's occurred, but there's no chance really for the retake in the 3 versus 4, especially when they don't have any kits, and the rotate time alone would burn so much off the clock. So it is the full save from Gambit that's going to have to come through for SK, meaning they'll now ascend to 6 rounds.
Well, at least it's going to be 3 weapons saved here for Gambit, at least. So an abundance of utility into the next one. 6-1 now, and it is going to be a 5-round deficit for Gambit. So could merit good time for a pause, try and recalibrate yourselves, reconfigure your CT side defense, because right now SK are deciphering it and basically tearing it apart piece by piece. But I mean, what do you change? I mean, we know that SK likes to leave Taco alone towards the B site. Do you either gain control towards B short? Do you either try and fight back towards mid, maybe send only 2 players towards B at the start of the round, have them go for an early smoke towards B short, early smoke towards Monster, have 3 players hold off SK towards mid, or do you take the risk of sending 2 towards B short? It's kind of hard.
It's true, the adaptation needs to be there, though. Some kind of change in terms of the setup that we do actually see ran from Gambit into this round. As let's see what the adjustments will be. So now it's continuing on. Round number 8 now. 6 rounds been accumulated for SK, and they're showing no signs of slowing down. Gambit with still only 1 to play with.
Bomb left towards T-Spawn. Taka this time no longer waiting by the bin outside T-Spawn. Going to be going towards B shot, but one is lonesome, so could be exploitable, especially because he is only on to 45 points of health. The HE grenade did connect perfectly. And once again, the same default here for SK. 2 players towards connector, 2 players towards mid as well, leaving Taka alone towards the B site. And then 15 left on the clock as the AWP from Fallen again, close range towards connector, so SK are going to be getting the exact same storyline as we've seen so far here on their T side. They gain control towards middle, they gain control towards A long, and they have the whole round at their disposal. They can group back towards the B site, hoping that Gambit over-rotate if they go for a execution towards the A site. This is the thing as well for SK. Because you have connector control, Jack, you can go for those fast rotations. So you can fake towards A, you know, in 7, 8 seconds, already be towards Monster, already be towards B short. And it's so easy to set a fake towards the A site and cause Gambit to go into disarray and overstack and over-rotate on their CT side.
Here comes the flash push. Bolt's going to actually go for the early entry, finds the frag on Mo, but Adren fires back through, so they go 1 for 1 in the early game. But here's the true play developing towards the B site. Everyone getting grouped up, hustling and bustling, ready to burst their way straight through. But they have to bypass this initial man. The frontline infantry in Dosia that wants to be the Dark Destroyer to punish them all. Waits for the push, bides his time, slowly gets through, finds the spray as well as he connects the first. Fallen saves his teammate though, and it's Fur and Fallen. As they've got site control, they try and get into better angles as well. Adren will arrive ever so slightly, pushes his way back through. You might get one, but Fallen's always there for the trade. And SK get another round.
Well, because of the saved rifles, Jack, and the maximum round loss bonus as well now for Gambit, they do have cash to work with. 4 players could buy, and a pause is going to come in now for the CT side. So, what are they going to be changing? I mean, I said before, SK's default, 2 connector, 2 towards middle. Do you send a player or 2 players towards B short, try and get the frag onto Taco, then suddenly SK have to go back towards B, clear all of that out, and it slows the default down so much, and it makes things so much more awkward for them if Taco dies in these rounds. But then again, all it takes is Taco to play passive, and then suddenly Gambit have nothing to work with towards B. Do you maybe try go for a setup towards connector and challenge Bolts and Fallen? Obviously, they are clearing the angles out effectively. They contact up with the op from Fallen. They Molotov out the cubby. They flash and they peek towards the stairs. But we need to see Gambit get aggressive somewhere. If they keep playing passive towards A, towards B, they are going to continuously lose these CT rounds.
Nice early Molotov as well coming through. Gambit going to get the smoke down as they push straight round. Trying to go for this play towards short in the early game. Minute and 35 seconds on the clock now, as already they're so pushed up towards B. The CT's going to be dubious and waiting to see what exactly this true play will be coming towards them will look like as they go for the short aggression. Dosia are actually pushing through the contact phase with the AWP. He has support as well from Hobbit as the flashbang peek will allow him to extend round. Gets the initial frag off the SMG and they can fall back.
Yeah, good flash there. Doesn't even connect onto Bolts, but he still wins that duel. And now SK have to retake map control towards B short. Adren going to be left alone towards the A site as well as the double rotation. Comes in towards the B site, especially now as well as Coldzera nails Dosia. Adren pushing down connector. He's gaining information, the vital information that Gambit need right now. But he's going towards T-spawn side, Jack. Adren's going all the way in towards the back of connector. Going to go up the stairs, come in towards T-spawn. And it may be too good, too late. Push comes in now. Taco loses the charge towards Monster.
Oh, Hobbit as well with a fast flick there to try and stop the push. Gets the second as well. The headshot on towards first. So close. You could see he was priming himself for the third. But Coldzera will end his reign of terror and live to fight another day. As it's now the double face. Fallen and Cold. They need to work together as a good unit. As the smoke goes down. Seized. If he goes for the play, he might actually get the frags. But Fallen baits him out. And Cold will actually find the frag anyhow. But there's the flank from the rear. Adren comes in. Mo punishes as well. Gambit do actually get their second round. A good hold coming out towards the B site.
Yeah, and this time, you know, CT side of aggression. Hobbit finds the first frag. SK clearer, yes. Cold Zero got the trade kill onto Dozier. There's a 4 versus 4, but the aggression from Adren means they can go for the full rotation towards the B site. They know exactly where SK are lurking. They knew it was going to be a 4-man play towards the B site. They could get into great CT-sided positions towards that B site and were able to have what was required essentially to hold off the assault from SK. But only 2 players surviving, Jack, so it does beg the question of what happens if Gambit get reset, and especially now as Fallen gets so aggressive towards B short. Close.
As his up shots are going out, Fallen pushing his way through. He's going to try and go for a bit of a cheeky peek there. Actually does hold back, but instead Bolts will deal the damage anyways. He gets a mighty little frag on towards Adren. Fallen now into a 4v5 as well. Still keeping it going through as Fallen with the AWP takes down Seized. Gambit, they were able to pick up the prior round, but it looks like this time they are going to just be absolutely obliterated, especially when the face comes out. Fallen with a headshot on Dozier, dispatching him as he shatters in his cranium, and they're still hungry for more.
Molotov does land this time towards barrels, and Hobbit going to be telegraphing exactly where he is. That's when the first frag. Mo as well chimes in towards Heaven, so suddenly a 3 versus 2 when actually we saw the drastic advantage here for SK, but that's going to be his sound cue. That's going to be his moment now to pounce on towards the free A bomb site. And yeah, bomb was in a scenario where it was dropped for SK. They can retrieve that, go back in towards T-spawn, make their long route back in towards mid, on towards the A side. They can even plant for bank if they want to as well. Fur with such a forward position.
Fur going to go down the back steps, Cold as well, going straight from the front as he works his way through toilets to try and take the hit towards the A site. Fur had the angle covered, obviously just being able to control so much of the map now, cuts off all of the rotations as Hobbit, he doesn't even want to try and run the risk. He's going to exit out through Monster, try and run out of there. Fallen might hear him if he actually does elephant foot his way past. Does bounce straight across, so he can be hunted here. He has got quite far away, obviously just going to try and go for this save in T-spawn. But they're hungry for it. They want to try and push down.
Oh, of course. I mean, the risk versus reward right now is so high for SK. The money's going to be in tatters for Gambit going forward. They've been reset here. The second time into this matchup. And it does go 8-2 going forward now into round number 11. 6-round lead now for SK. Look at the money here for Gambit. I just don't see them coming back into this one, Jack. Same scenarios as Inferno. $2,000 for Hobbit, and apart from that, everyone's severely poorer. If they go for the force buy here, Jack, it's going to be CZs. Their round loss bonus has been reset again, but it is going to be 1,500 into the next round, so they can maybe save this one buy into the next round with a fairly weak buy. They can go for a double save, but even then, you give up double digits to SK. A 10-2 scoreline, and SK isn't going to be a team that's going to be able to, choke or throw away those sorts of drastic leads.
So Gambit, they go for this play all the way behind. Taco as well with the AK. Finds himself in a aimbot server right now as he just wants to try and kill them all. Easy frags coming through as one by one they start to hit the deck. It's just Seized and Hobbit remaining that are far away from each other as well. Actually takes the fight. Taco's hungry for it as he wanted to try and go for the aggressive face. Obviously the bomb is just there, but for Gambit, it's already over. The eco round was just basically about trying to get this one out of the way and then bounce back into the next one. But this will be 9 rounds for SK accumulated off the back of this.
Yeah, and it may even be 10. Their money's completely reset here, Jack. And 5 players staying alive so far here for SK, so their money can start to build. Obviously, you can see they've won so many rounds in a row, but there's only one player with a substantial amount of cash, and that's Fallen, $7,000. Apart from that, their money was, you could argue, susceptible or in a scenario where it could have been broken, but instead, Gambit going to be in a massive deficit and at a loss for words as well as to how they are into this scenario. Sees last player alive here, trying to see if we can find one frag, maybe get some exit frags, but Fur will deny any chance of that. 2-9 as we go into round number 12, and you can see they can buy rifles onto what? 1, 2, 3 players. UMP, fat mass buy for the remaining players, Adren and Mo. But even then, it's still such a poor buy if they were to go for that. But yeah, PT50's upgraded pistol is going to be invested into, so it will be the quasi buy for Gambit. 2 sets of Kevlar as well, so more so an eco essentially. And they are going to be conceding double digits here for SK. So 10-2 scoreline check. If we see that, which we most likely are, I just see no room back in this one for Gambit.
Goes up. Oh, he was low as well. Potentially with the 5-7, he might have caused some upsets or at least something to try and put the brakes on this all-out aggression that's coming through from SK. But Fer just on the entry, he just takes the fight he wants, and he always comes out on top as they've got B site control now. A minute and 20 left on the clock. Still finding those frags as they're just ripping faces off left, right, and center. Mo just going to be holding the close angle, hoping bolts might push through, and then he could land a nice little frag with a P250, but it's unlikely that's even going to occur. Fallen as well, gets contact and falls back.
Ooh. Zeus is still alive here, dodging and darting and showing off his acrobatic skills towards the ladder, but eventually Cold Zero will end his chances. 1-5 here. Mo, last alive, has the deagle, but that's about it. Will eventually be dispatched by bolts. So 10-2 here. Double digits for SK. 8-round advantage going to round number 13, and they have so much cash to work with, so they can pretty much buy for the remaining 3 rounds here. And it will be a CT-sided pause. And now for Gambit, I mean, what do you change? The defaults work so well for SK. The individual angels work so well as well for SK. Everything goes in their favor. You can see Adren not looking too optimistic here in this scenario, and you wouldn't be. You know, the 2-1 victory versus Tyloo into the lower bracket beginnings. You're now versus SK in a scenario where it was either Astralis or SK. It goes to show just how unforgiving this group has been.
Yeah, this really has been stacked. Obviously, been all-out warfare across the board. They've all had to bring their A games and hope for the best. As now we dive back in with the action here, continuing on. Gambit on the CT side. They whip out the double AWP. 2 AWPs is better than 1, but can they actually find any success with this buy?
Guess we're about to find out. 2 AWPs versus SK's defaults. Quite effective. It could be effective. I mean, if they have an AWP maybe played towards the top of connector, waiting for Fallen to walk into their crosshair. Towards a long, potentially. As it will be Mo towards the A side. Hobbit would in the other AWP as well towards B. So they have 1 AWP towards Pillar on the B side. And the other one towards A long. So will SK be walking into that trap, or will they be able to deal with this setup now opposed onto them by Gambit? Once again, Taco alone towards B, does the spam, tries to make it look like they're doing the normal default, but actually they are going to be going heavy towards mid. Taco going towards connector as well, so he's going to be rejoining the ranks with bolts. So 2 connector, 3 towards along, and the run boost here. This could get interesting.
Well, let's see as they dive around. Fortunately, there's no targets there for them, but they're still playing quite cheekily as they push up, developing towards A, encroaching as much as they can, obviously getting close. Here comes the players, they regroup, taking that control towards close mid. The 2 CTs that are set up, they're going to try and help each other out. You've got Adren, supported by Mo. So they have the AWP and rifle, they can try and aid each other. Counter boost play as well, once again for Fallen, gets him into the elevated spot so he can speak out towards the A site. He's not going to be able to find those frags. Mo actually does get taken though, but he trades a little tag back on towards bolts as here comes the play on toilets.
Oh, that Molotov's going to force the face from Mo. Look at the HP as well, they're so low as they walk through the smoke. Flashbang from Fallen doesn't actually connect there, so it's going to be the 3 versus 3. Ooh. Taco as well taken down by C's. The C's goes nuclear, gets the 4th, and now going for the ace with 8 seconds left. It's going to be Hobbit to find the final frag. 10-3 as Gambit maybe back into this one as C's does save that round. It was a 5 versus 3 before the new addition to Gambit did step into the roster and also step into the limelight there as he showed us his true inner star power.
Yeah, seizing the days. He was just able to find those really beautiful shots, quick reaction times, and dealing a lot of important damage, trying to share the load a little bit and make Gambit's lives easier, but obviously that is only going to be 3 rounds they've accumulated even now. The rebuy comes back through. For SK, it's nothing. They're going to brush it off like dirt off their shoulder and then try and continue on.
Oh, Mo with the entry there towards A-Long this time. The AWP is going to be effective. Bolts, aggressive towards B, finds the first frag, tries to line up the spray as well onto Hobbit, but eventually will be taken down. 4 versus 3 is Hobbit. Found the second kill. But he's onto fairly low HP. Going to be Fur making his way up towards A-Long as well. And Mo and Adren tunnel visioned in towards Toilet, so if he comes in from behind, could have such a good advantage point to come in from the flank has fallen. Gets the trade frag onto Hobbit. Going to be one player towards water, that is Seized. Makes his way towards Barrows, and the whiff of the spray there from Fur as Mo actually wins that duel with the USP, Jack.
Yeah, very interesting, obviously, as now the play comes in towards B. Seized as he hides behind Toxic, peeks out, gets that kill on Fallen. It's just Cold remaining. 45 seconds left on the clock. He tried to cross. Cold gets spotted. Seized takes him down. Gambit, they're going to get a 4th round. They're starting to actually bring it back a little bit towards the end of this one as they get the momentum going through. And now it comes down to the final round of the half. 4 rounds for Gambit, 10 for SK.
6-round advantage here. Double digits for the T side of SK Gaming. As we go into the final round, Gambit going to need to get 5 here, otherwise this could be another blowout stomp here for the Brazilian side as they send potentially Gambit packing. P coming in towards Connector here from Adren. But will eventually fall back as well. Mo has the AWP station towards Toilet, so they are going to be conceding control towards A long. But the same default that was so effective for SK early on. 2 towards Connector, 2 towards mid, leaving Taco alone towards the B site. You know, he spams towards short, throws at that Molotov, denies early B control from Gambit. Ooh, third Molotov there from Bo. It's not going to really be changing too much, though.
So now they want to try and go for this play in towards the B site. Seized. Goes for the jump face. They will fire back with the AKs, attempting to deal some damage as this play comes out towards A, slowly crawling their way through. Will SK be able to get themselves 11 rounds on the board here at the end of the first half, or is this going to be Gambit getting themselves a bit more of a buffer as they move over to their T side after this? Mo, if the timing would have been different, that could have been a double kill for him, but instead is forced back. Going to set the place ablaze though, as his play could be a bit audacious. Peeks back through, tried to run the risk, and instead Fallen will finish him.
Does indeed. A 5 versus 4 now for SK. 35 seconds left to work with. Bomb still towards middle as well, as they're going to be lining and priming their smoke grenades to go for the execution towards the A site. Smokes are deployed towards the center of the site, towards the truck position as well, which means they can get the bomb down and play the afterplant towards Tortoise here, Jack.
Try and flood their way through, see if they can find success, but what will be the difference maker? Taco with the initial frag denies Adren from getting the early advantage. There is a play from Mighty Bolts himself as well as he takes down Dosia. Fur comes through with the AK fire on towards Seas, and it's just left on Hobbit. The Clutch Master pushes out, finds the headshot on Cole, but the angle's covered, goes down as his back gets broken. 4 rounds for Gambit, 11 for SK. They lead the charge as they lock it down on the first half.
Yeah, first half of Inferno was 13-2 for SK. And SK went on to close that matchup. Seems like deja vu coming into Overpass, as this is the map pick here for the Brazilians. And the second half pistol is pivotal for Gambit if they want a chance of taking this to train. But I guess we're going to find out their fate shortly as we go to a short break.
Welcome back, everybody. SK Gaming currently leading the charge with 11 rounds as they rip their way through. They've systematically understood how to shut down Gambit in the majority of these rounds. Gambit's been struggling. It's only been moments of individual brilliance that has really allowed them to claw it back as they sit there with 4 in the bank. We move on over now to their T side, SK on the CT side.
On Inferno, as you said, individual moments of glory. Seas on Inferno had those mid pushes, Mo had a few rounds as well in Inferno. And coming into Overpass as well, it seems like Seas is the only player that really sets up these rounds here for Gambit. SK on their T side, the defaults being so effective at transitioning into round victories. And now 4-11. Gambit on Inferno able to get a few rounds mustered up and eventually were fell short essentially. But coming to this one, it will be first frag found by Cold Zero towards B short as the remaining players here from Gambit go for the march towards A long.
That's a punishing first pick as well. So nicely done from Cold to actually go for the aggressive face. Takes down Seas that actually, funnily enough, has been the difference maker. You wouldn't expect him to be such an impactful fragger, but he's actually been getting quite a few critical kills on his game so far.
Smoke coming in towards CT from Hobbit. Flashbangs as well, so they can try and burst onto the site. Fer getting in close, but eventually gets taken down by Dozier.
Yep, first fallen, the X-God himself. He's able to handle 2 at once as he takes them both down, charges through the site. Adren going to deal some damage if he can. Taco, Cold and Bolts, the trio that will always strike fear in the hearts of their opposition that try to push back towards them. Taco gets the first, takes down Hobbit. Dozier trying to deal even more if he can as he has himself a threesome in that one as he takes down Bolts. There's the response from Taco. Blows him to bits as it falls to Adren now. The hard task of denying this. Taco, he's got no kit. Time's ticking away. It's now or never. But the extension from Adren. He tried to push through. Taco gets the kill. He's allowed to go for the defuse as well. SK are going to get the pistol.
I think they still may have it though. Has he got the kit?
Oh, it's going to be close. This is really going to be on the wire. SK get it.
A few seconds left there, but strange. I mean, considering the after plant as well, the bomb is planted default, planted for toilets, planted for A long. And in the 2 versus 3, they opt to go away from where the bomb was planted. So all it takes is a 1 versus 1. Taco taps the bomb. He knows it is to draw out the peak from the final remaining player from Gambit. As the wide face came in, he connected that headshot. 12-4 here. Gambit. It's a shame. I mean, this tournament has been so stacked and so difficult. It's so unforgiving. You lose these best of 3 deciding matchups in the lower bracket, and you are gone. Round number 17. Going to be the eco coming out from Gambit, of course. The bomb was planted, so they can eco this round and buy up into round number 18, but even then it's going to be potentially a 30-4 scoreline. And with, a 9-round deficit, a fairly weak buy as well with just AKs like utility, are they going to be able to claw themselves back into it? I just don't see it happening.
Especially when they're walking towards the meat grinder. Ferocious Fur, the big man himself, that just wants to shake his moneymaker and deal some damage, as he will be able to find both those frags with the MP9. Sure, Hobbit should be able to trade it back, but he doesn't. Gets caught off guard, was not ready to tackle Fur in the toilets.
5 versus 2 then, obviously. 3 kills found here with the SMG, so it's going to be $1,800 worth of cash for himself to take over. No Kevlar as well for Dozier, so it's going to be the Deagle armor for Adren. Obviously finding frags in the pistol round, which means he has the cash to, afford that and still be able to go for the AK buy. Actually, no, he's going to have $3,550 into the next round, Jack. So there might be AK Kevlar, no head armor, or a Galil potentially, if he wants to have that helmet to deny the one-shot headshot. But does get spotted out here. And eventually Dozier lands the Deagle as well. So 4 versus 2, but from behind it's bolts.
Yeah, damage been done from Dozier there. Wants to lead the charge, nearly with the flick, but wasn't strong enough. Goes down for the MP9 as well, so it's even more money being accumulated, which means the AWP coming out, thrown straight over to Fallen. Let's see if he can lead by example now once the big green gun's been given back to him.
Round number 18 then. First Byron going into the second half. And Adren, as I said, didn't have enough to go for the AK buy. Instead going to be going on to the Deagle. Probably dropped his AK over to someone else, which means Dozier can afford full utility. So they do have grenades to work with on one play, but the HE is... Ooh, actually doesn't connect as much damage as I thought. Only does 1 piece of damage onto Adren. As they go for the 4-player contact up towards A long, leaving just C's alone towards the B portion of the map. It's going to be met by Fur.
Fur, as always, he's done in the MP9. He's ready for it as he wants to start to rumble his way in the round. Peeks out, gets the first. He's so crisp at getting those initial headshots, even with those SMGs. He knows how to pack a punch as he gets the first kill. Formed as well. Peeking up, takes the head clean off of Adren, and then there were 3 on Gambit.
Sounds like a childhood narrative story. And then there were 3. Minute left to work with here. Bomb still in towards Toilets. Aggression here towards Connector from Cold Zero, which means they're going to be anticipating a stack towards A or B. But where is it going to be? Falling towards Pillar now. Cold Zero. Aggressive angle. Finds one. Finds the second as well and connects it. Just going to be seized alone. Actually gets great timing there to Fallen. But the bomb is towards Connector, Jack.
Still, C's playing it smart, even though the game's almost done. You can see the instincts coming out there as he tucks away the AWP, grabs the AK. Does blow down bolts as well. Very crisp as he finds the tap. But even then, this is going to be the 14th round grabbed for SK. He's not in a good position. And this is only going to be 19 rounds into the game as well after this one is closed out. So SK being able to find a ton of success very quickly, very dominantly. C's goes down as well, but at least it's before time as Cold Zero will set him up on a date with the coroner.
14-4 then. 10 round advantage here for SK on their CT side of Overpass. 1 round away from match point as well. Gambit, obviously, they're going to have to force into all of these rounds because they need rounds on the board as soon as possible. They can't afford to give away match point for free, essentially. If we see a 15-4 scoreline, 11 match points then for the Brazilian side. There's just no way they let that one slip. SK going to be moving on forward into the lower bracket. I believe they are now 1 best of 3 away from claiming a spot at the Spodek. But can they try and topple over these upgraded pistols?
Oh, Fallen with the Molotov out first as he tried to be a bit cheeky into the round. Did deal damage, gets the initial frag, but the fire comes back through in the form of Adren as he actually gets 2 kills in quick succession. Falls back into a 2v3 as the push starts to set up towards the A site. They can recover the bomb. Bolts is there, but will he be strong enough to hold this back? Peeks out. Adren actually does annihilate him. Oh, Taco as well. That is troublesome as he finds the headshot. Somehow they've made it into a 1v1. Hobbit, he's on the site. He's going to get the bomb down. It's a play from Cold that can mean all the difference. He has 1 flash. Cold has 2 in a kit. And the HE.
This is quite smart from Hobbit. He's planted for Bank. That means that Cold Zero is going to be anticipating him to be towards CT. But obviously he's cleared all of this out. He knows he has to be towards Long or towards Toilets. Is he going to be guessing exactly where Hobbit is?
Cold comes through. As he peeks around, Cold, you can see dubious as ever, trying to at least get a read, something that will elude him to the exact play of the round. He's going to tap the bomb. That will force Hobbit's hand, but Hobbit gets the frag, shuts them down. Somehow that round works out well, and SK don't achieve it. That will be Gambit getting 5, but it's still going to be hard for them, obviously. For SK, at least that's quite a big chunk of damage done to their economy, so it is going to be a bit of a miffed buy, just grabbing whatever they can work with. But the same could be said for Gambit ever so slightly as they reinvest through. Let's see what they can actually achieve, as they're going to starve their economy, pumping the cash back into this one.
Yeah, SK just going to be going for the save here, just going to be the eco. CZ's PT50 there for a few plays, but apart from that, no Kevlar, just one flashbang to work with. This is, should be a fairly one-sided round, but Taco with a drive by 2K goes for the third as well as he reloads his CZ up.
Triumphant play from Taco there, but there's the frags going back finally the way towards Gambit as Mo and Hobbit deal damage. Mo with a second as well, but Taco, he's on for the haste potentially here with the CZ as he's finding critical damage second after second. He's given the opportunity. Upgrades to an AK as well. Might be able to get this headshot on towards Dosia. It just depends on the luck of the draw. Peeks through. Taco, he's had 4, hungry for more as he starts to get ready to bound through and charge into the action. Cold as well with the face. He telegraphs the location of Hobbit as Taco is the only remaining member. He's got to stop the play and get the defuse in quick succession. There's no time and no round either as Hobbit will annihilate him.
Good economical damage dealt there to Gambit, but obviously SK being so close, only 1 round away from actually getting to match point and eventually closing out this best of 3. The economy for Gambit isn't really the main commodity. The commodity here for the CIS team is going to be these rounds and trying to come back and get back to a respectable scoreline essentially before SK even get worried into this one. Going to be bringing out the double up setup. Taco and Fallen going to be warding those. 1 defuse get there for Fur. They have 3 smokes to work with. No Molotovs. But a Mach 10 for Adren, Deagle for Dozier as well. They have the up on Tomo as a consolation. But still, the economical damage actually facilitates such a strong position now for SK.
Fur pushes his way through Playground, looking to make a bit of a play into the round. As actually, Fallen has been removed, so it does ride quite heavily on Fur. He can listen out to the audio cues as the nades miss as well. So they're just giving him exactly what he wants, all of the info, and now a frag as well as he finds the headshot with the UMP, takes down Dosia, and he's going to play around this to roam through. Taco just absolutely demolishing him, Snods. They're allowed to bob and weave, choose firefights that they want to go for, as it's a 3v3 in the round, a minute left on the clock. The T's have got B site control, but Adren is trapped miles away. Yeah, he could backstab, but if they do go for this play on B, they're going to be able to get in. It's going to be awkward for him to actually aid his teammates now.
Well, the bomb is planted. 3 versus 3. Diffuse kit onto Fur. Has the AWP into the retake. Not really the best and most effective weapon into this scenario. But they have got the rifles to work with as well as the bomb. Makes it... Ooh, actually, Fur has a little bit of a joust here with the AWPs between him and Adren. Works out the USP. Will land the dink as well. Eventually connects onto that frag. Bolts as well towards short. Finds seized. Hobbit now on the 1 versus 3.
Hobbit, he's done it before, but will he do it again? Gets the first spray as he opens this round up. The smoke goes down. It's now or never that they've got to jump on the bomb soon, and he's able to find these kills. Fur, he's got a kit, but he's got no time as he dives onto it with the confidence, forced to run away. Get out of there with the AWP. No, he won't. So that is the AWP gone as well, as Gambit now gets a 7.
14-7, as you said, as we go into round number 22. Hobbit with a 1 versus 3. Uses the positioning there. Works with the clock as the bomb ticks far too low. No chance for SK into that one. 14-7 then. Jack, are you believing in the comeback? Do you think this is going to go to train?
Well, it's kind of what we saw last time around, right? Over in Inferno. Obviously, the longer the game went on, Gambit started to actually understand how to counter SK, got the feelers out. This T side's looking a lot better as well because they are winning rounds. They're showing they've got the aim capability. It just needs to keep going. So let's see. Cold, though, he could be the counter of a lifetime as he pushes up close, gets the first. SK back with confidence, and this is where the issues are going to arrive. Zeus, though, actually able to just shut them down towards mid. It's only Fur left in a 1v3. No weapons are going to be close enough by for him to actually scavenge and help himself out. As he lobs out the flashbang to try and confuse and distract him. Peeks with a P250, gets contact, and has to scurry off once more.
Yeah, I mean, exact same as we saw from Inferno. One-sided half for SK. Gambit come back into the second half, but it's always too late. They always perform when there's no pressure left and there's nothing to lose, essentially. But 14-7. Unless something crazy happens here, Jack, we're going to be seeing a 14-8 as well. So 6 rounds will separate these two teams, so maybe there's a chance to come back into it. Bomb planted towards A. So just a matter of time now before we go into the next round.
For Gambit as well, though, it's the fact that even when they do start to come back, SK have already been able to achieve 14 rounds. So they're one away from getting match point at the very least, and then be sitting there with their safety net of overtime. That's where it gets a little bit awkward.
Maybe. Obviously for Fur, they know they've got the frags towards middle. Maybe try and save an AK into the next round, as that could help their money. Obviously, well, Fur saved an AK, they can drop over and up to Fallen. Fallen can buy full utility, as now he has to go for the AWP, Kevlar and Flashbang, so not much utility for him. But will it matter? 14-8. As it will be another good buy here for Gambit. Actually, I'd say goodbye. Maybe not the best buy, because Jack, no AWP here for Mo. So, in terms of the defaults, maybe it's going to be a little bit different to what they're used to. But Mo is actually fairly solid with both the rifle and the AWP. He's not one of these AWPers that relies so heavily on just the AWP to find success. He is fairly versatile. Oh, it's going to be a B-rush as well, as it's going to be Gambit up in the ante.
The B bombardment. Fallen with the first. Actually, no. Fallen's unable to connect the shot as he goes down. Already the damage has been done as Dosia and Adren. Adren as well, even more coming through. It's 2 massive impact frags from him. And seized, annihilates Coldzera. He was up top, but he was so exposed, it was easy for him to find the frag, leaving just Fur alone as the last man alive, which means Gambit will now get 9 rounds. Fur is forced into a save, because there's no point just running in and throwing away that economy. This means the next round as well most likely go the way of Gambit. They can actually start to get themselves back into a reasonable position. But once again, is it going to be what we saw in Inferno, where it's just too late? SK have just got that many rounds that even when you do start to get momentum back in your favour, it's not going to matter that much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I agree. I think SK have too good of a foothold, or too strong of a foothold already into this one. You know, 14-9, still 5-round deficit here for Gambit, but they're making it closer, as they have now won 5 rounds in a row. It's very bleak for Gambit when it was a 14-4 scoreline. Maybe we have written them off too quickly. Round number 24 will be the quality buy coming out from SK. They are going to be onto the full maximum round loss bonus, so they can actually just go for the quality buy here. You know, Scout, Kevlar there for Coldzera, upgraded pistols as well, and they can still go for a very good buy into round number 25. But it might be the exact same scoreline, 16-10. Let's see when SK eventually wake up here.
Yeah, obviously not too much that SK can actually do with this round. Scout on Fur, so if they do get tags, maybe they can net a couple of consolation frags, but that is about it, really. As Gambit should just be able to steamroll over them. You've got the firepower, just work together, don't play into the pistol advantage, and give them the close quarters environments where they can actually take you down in fast fashion.
Bomb still towards T spawning from Gambit. Obviously, they're going to be holding for the aggression from the CT side, expecting these pistols to get aggressive, you know, towards Be Sure, towards Monster, or maybe even more so towards Connector. As they just hold. 50 seconds left now. First spots one player towards A long. Does he know about the additional one? Bomb making its way in towards T spawn, coming towards the A site as well. And so Gambit going to be concluding towards the A site, but well, SK let them get that far.
Oh, Fur tagged up. He comes out from Mo. He's got the AWP in his hands, and he knows how to wield it as he gets the first. Oh, the flank from Seized as well. Shuts them both down as he catches them off guard. They were unable to achieve anything there as they just turn to dust. Coldzera from miles away with the CZ. Not the best position to wield the weapon from, so he also goes down. And that means Gambit do get that free round, essentially, at that point. So they get 10 in the bag. SK, here comes the